Is it live? Is it live?
From Ruffino's on Highland Road, welcome to the Friday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I'm Charles Hanagriff, along with former Tiger Richard Dixon. Jordan Kinch's back in the studio. Max Gotro is here. Jimmy Ott will join us in hour number 2. It is Log of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments. And if you ever been around here for Bama Week, you know it's one of the great atmospheres here on Friday. Starting at lunch and going all the way through tonight for Alabama week. So without further ado, Rich, good morning. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
You look a little bleary-eyed. You stay up late watching the Bengals and Ravens last night?
Yeah, I typically try to go to sleep around like 9:30, and that one kept me up till 11. I mean,
Couldn't turn that one off, man.
Man, I don't care. I wasn't really worried about the outcome. I don't watch a lot of NFL football. But watching two LSU superstars just freaking go at having an awesome game, I mean, it was really fun to watch.
It was, and unfortunately, they came out on the short end. The assault charges are still pending in Baltimore from the last drive, I think.
Him staying healthy right now is a miracle. The way he's getting crushed. And I think he's getting some BS call. He's not getting protected. For a guy of his stature, there was 2 plays. The last play of the game, which he got knocked in the face again, didn't call. The drive before that, he got smoked in the face, pulled down by his face mask, didn't get called.
That face, the one before that was the one you're talking about. The guy caught him by the face mask twice. He catches it, and it's like a graze. He's got his hand on it, and then it's almost like he realizes he's about to grab the face mask, so he lets go. Then he grabs it again and pulls it.
You know, he thought he was going to lose him. But there's another one. You see a lot of like older quarterbacks. You see Aaron Rodgers get this call out where the D linemen are falling on their legs. He's not getting those calls.
No.
I mean, I get it. He's still a young guy, but when they have those rules and you see him called against other quarterbacks in that game, in a close game, he's got to start getting those calls too.
I'm completely with you. And Herb Street said it on the broadcast last night. He says, you know, this has been going on for 5 years. He is getting pulverized.
He's taken the most hits throughout quarterbacks in the 5 year span he's been playing.
It's amazing that he has stayed healthy this year. And, you know, the injuries, and we can tell us, I'm sorry. We've been watching the highlights again this morning here of that incredible game last night between the Bengals and the Ravens. But his other injuries, with the exception of the rookie year ACL tear, they weren't because of the hits he was taking. They were almost more incidental. The thumb injury, he hit it on a helmet. Anybody could do that. The appendectomy, you know, the calf injury that kept him out of training camp last year was a non-contact injury. He's had some bad luck in addition to all of these hits that he's taken.
To me, like, you know, regardless of what he says, the wrist is still bothering him. Every time they zoom in on him, the way he's flexing it, he's moving it. But to do what he's doing this year, I mean, it stinks because he is so awesome this year. His stats are amazing. He's playing lights out, and you know it's probably the worst Bengals team they've had record-wise.
If the Bengals record were even if it were reversed, if they were 6-4 instead of 4-6, they don't even have to be at the top of the league. I think he and Lamar Jackson would be 1 and 1A as far as the MVP. Right now, look, I've got a book full of Jaden Daniels tickets to win the MVP, and with all that on the line, if you asked me to vote today, I couldn't not vote for Lamar Jackson the way he's playing right now,
especially in the second half. I mean, some of the ways he extends plays is just there's nobody else that can do it the way he does it, and it's so much fun to watch. I mean, like I said, I don't watch a lot of full NFL games. I watch a quarter here and there, but when Lamar Jackson's on, when Joe Burrow's on, those are guys you just can't miss.
Jackson on the last touchdown looks so incredibly comfortable for a third down. The game's on the line. I got to believe that Jackson thought, if we kick a field goal, it was third down and goal. And I don't think they're going to go for it because they were like outside the 5. So if they don't make it, they got to kick a field goal. And I got to think that Jackson knows in that point, we kick a field goal, we lose.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have gone for it on 4th and goal from the 6 or 7 or wherever they were. And he makes a move. No, the initial read isn't there. He slides, he moves, and then he throws what amounts to almost a jump pass. It was perfect.
No, it was so fun to watch. And then last thing on this game, just because it was so much fun to watch, I don't know about the going for 2 at that point because I was so scared with 40 seconds left and the way the last 2 drives have gone for Baltimore. I'm like, you're almost try to push it overtime because I feel very confident that Lamar Jackson will get him in field goal range.
Well, my counter to that is that if they kick the extra point, they can still get in field goal range.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm going to go for 2 there. I'm going to try to put the pressure on them. And I'm going to try to win the game right there. But you're right. There's 40 seconds to go,
40 seconds,
whether you kick it or not.
It's crazy how that drive went. It started with like 1:47, and they get down there too fast.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. And there was one play, I think, where it was Chase Brown, I believe, went out of bounds.
You got the double penalty. You got the personal foul on top of the game that pushed him into the red zone.
We could do probably our whole show on that game last night. We got another game tomorrow, LSU and Alabama, one with just massive implications as far as the playoff. The winner has got I think their fate right in front of them, and the loser is, for all intents and purposes, out. It's got SEC championship game ramifications. It's got so much on the line for these two coaches and how their programs will be perceived going forward. And that's where I want to start before we get into the X's and O's. If Brian Kelly wins this game, he will have, in the first 3 years, gotten his team into the SEC championship game, won 10 games twice, and beaten Alabama 2 out of 3. And I don't care if Saban's there or not. It's still a very, very big deal. They'll be in line to go to the playoffs. They'll have a chance to go to the SEC championship game. He's already got a better record of the other coaches that were hired that year, Venables and Riley and Napier, at other big-time programs. Lose this game, and you still had a good run. You've had, all the things that happened before this, but now you've lost to Alabama 2 out of 3. You won't make the SEC championship game 2 out of 3. You won't make the inaugural 12-team playoffs. So I know there's 3 games after this, but let's start with Brian Kelly. The perception of him is, fair or not, going to be shaped a lot by this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with games like this is I feel more comfortable in big games. I mean, Brian Kelly really has his team ready to play in big games with, big time opponents. The games we slip up on are the A&M games when they're okay. And those are the ones that kind of bother me more. But, I feel really confident, at Tiger Stadium. Brian Kelly seems to have these guys ready to play in the big games. You got a bye week. I feel good about this one. But, where my concern is that left guard, we're down to our third string guy that we saw struggle getting put in the situation against A&M. Hopefully they got him more prepared and he's ready to roll with 2 weeks preparation.
For Kalen DeBoer, everybody knew this was going to be a difficult transition when you follow a guy like Saban. And I shouldn't even say follow a guy like Saban because there's no guy like Saban.
Yeah.
You're following
the best to ever do it.
Yeah. So that was going to be tough. The game against Georgia bought him a lot of goodwill there, even with how it finished and they had to hold on. And then all of that kind of went up in smoke the next 3 weeks. They lost to Vandy, they lost to Tennessee, they wedged a game against South Carolina in between there, which might have been his worst coached game of the 3 if you really look at it. They got away with some outlandish stuff in that game and still won it. And then last week they beat a depleted Missouri team. If he wins this, it's going to be an overwhelming favorite to win out, and at 10-2 Alabama's in the playoff. And then he can, really put the stamp on how they're going to remember his first year. Go into the playoffs and win a game or 2, and they'll forgive losses against Tennessee and Vanderbilt. They won't forget.
They won't forget.
But they will. That can ease a lot of that. Lose here, and beating the last 3 teams on your schedule is not going to mean anything because Oklahoma and Auburn are terrible this year. You're not going to get in the playoffs. You're going to go to the whatever bowl. Nobody's going to care. You'll beat some poor Big Ten team within an inch of their life, and nobody will care. And you'll spend the entire offseason being asked why you couldn't sustain, at least to a certain extent, what Nick Saban did. So he's got a lot on the line.
He's got a lot of pressure. And I think what you're saying is that they make it to the playoffs. It eases some. From the Alabama buddies they got to make it to the playoffs and win a game for them to feel better right now. They're so not used to being in the situation. Just being the 10th, 11th, 12th team in and losing first round, that ain't going to satisfy him. But, it's something for him. I mean, this is life in the SEC. You know, when he was out at Washington, he had 3 maybe big games a year that, you know, against, you know, other very
he wasn't there that long.
Yeah,
I mean, he was only there a couple of years. They had multiple big games in his last year to get to the championship game. He was a great game coach against ranked teams at Washington.
But what you talk about in the SEC is every freaking week.
Yeah,
it is a grind. You're playing against guys that you're playing against, you know, 3 or 4 loss teams that are good. I mean, guys that can go out there and just beat you up. And I really feel like, you know, it was a big change for him. I think, you know, he let that team get emotionally high after that Georgia win, where Nick Saban would have cut him down immediately for letting him even come back and get close. I mean, this team, the way that game ended out, they were riding high, got to number 1, and they come out and just look like trash the next game. This is something where Nick Saban never allowed to happen. You know, they would have won that game, and Nick Saban would have been cussing in the press game, ripping people up for even letting them become close.
How hard is that to do? It seems like an extraordinarily hard thing for a coach to do, to say, listen, you did everything that we asked you to do as far as winning the game. Okay, we wanted to win the game. We'll look at the film on Monday, but we won the game. We beat Georgia. We're in number 1 in the country. And then 15 minutes later go, you guys are terrible, not terrible, but you guys have so much to work on. You haven't accomplished anything, and have them believe you.
You could that's a cultural mindset. I tell you all the time, if I could play in 80 plays, I remember 4 bad ones. I don't remember anything else that happened other than the 4 bad plays that we got to go back and fix next week.
There's just not a lot of. Well, give me an example of how Miles dealt with a big win.
You know, a big win. It was, you hear the 24-hour rule. It's kind of overused, but like, we celebrated that night, but we had film the next day. And we had all the way up to 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon when we were going to get in there and do stretch and stride, get loose, and then we start preparing for the next one. I mean, you can only enjoy it so long, because in the SEC, anybody can beat you the following week.
Yeah, it's easy to say that 24-hour thing, but I think it's hard to do after you beat a team like Georgia. It's such a monumental win. Listen, if LSU wins this game, we'll spend all next week fretting about, hey, can you sustain it? And you're going to go to a Florida team that's playing a third-string quarterback, so you get a little bit of a reprieve there. But
I'll take it to a few years back where the same thing with Brian Kelly having to learn this is when you get the big win against Alabama, and then you go on the road against a bad A&M team and you lose. You know, you get that emotional high, everybody's rolling, and you don't really get back into gear and get focused and understand that the next game is just as important as the last game.
They got away with the one in between there, the Arkansas game. They didn't play very well, but Perkins bailed them out that day, and they were able to get the win. We got a lot to ground to cover for LSU and Alabama. We're here at Ruffino's. The restaurant opens at 11 o'clock. Come on over and see us for lunch. We got crab cakes today. We got the king salmon today. The black and prime rib. I didn't see that the first time. I should have read through the menu a little bit more carefully. We got a lot of good stuff. We hope that you can come by and see it. This is Live at Lunch, Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is head coach Brian Kelly. When running a football program or any organization, core values are so important to the success of the operation. Integrity, honesty, and family is what they're all about at Hollingsworth Richards Ford, and I've experienced that firsthand. Now in my 3rd year here in Baton Rouge, I've gotten to know them through their support of our football program. So it's simple. All of you truck buyers across the state, and I know there are a lot of you, when it's time for that brand new vehicle, go to Hollingsworth Richards Ford and tell them Coach Kelly sent you.
Sex trafficking is in your own backyard. The worst corridors from New Orleans to Houston. Victims are forced and coerced into trafficking, and their families are often involved. Metanoia Manor is a safe house for girls of sex trafficking. It helps them heal physically, mentally, spiritually, and provides education and life skills. Metanoia Manor is supported by donations, and we need your help. To donate, go to helpprotectthesegirls.com.
Baton Rouge, it's time to feel the heat. The Baton Rouge Zydeco are back for the 2024-25 season, so secure your seat and let's make some noise. Individual tickets for the 2024-25 season are on sale now. Join the Zydeco November 7th for a koozie giveaway, sponsored by Bayou Apparel. Get $5 PBRs as we take on the Columbus River Dragons. Then come back on November 8th for a special military jersey night, sponsored by LaBerge Casino.
Is your closet organized? Let's face it, most closets are cluttered and a hassle to organize, but that's just because they aren't designed around your specific needs. One Bath & Closets works closely with you to design your space where it makes sense for you and clears the clutter away. From shoe racks, baskets, seasonal storage, mirrors, drawers, cubbies, and doors, One Bath & Closets can make your dream closet a reality. Go with an industry leader in bathroom and now closet remodeling. Visit onebathandclosets.com to sign up for a free in-home consultation. That's onebathandclosets.com.
From your couch to the tailgate to the stadium, Homefield Apparel makes the best game day and everyday gear. This year, Homefield's football box is brand new. It hooks you up with everything you need to cheer on the Tigers. T-shirt, long sleeve shirt, hoodie, hat, socks, and a koozie. Plus, you get 15% off your first order when you use the code LSU24 at checkout. Trust me, y'all, I've been sporting the gear for 2 years now. It's the best. Nothing like I've worn before. Quality, comfort, and style. HomefieldApparel.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we welcome you back here at Ruffino's. We're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff done a great job for us. Neck pain, back pain, things that are keeping you from moving around. Whether it's an old sports injury, an automobile accident, let them get you adjusted. Let them get you into a program that's going to target your problem areas, get you to feeling better. If you need a dry needle, electric nerve stimulation, cryo, or ultrasound therapy, they can help you out with that too. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, Airline Highway, Jefferson near Drusilla and Plank Road. Rich, last year, Jalen Milroe was the difference in this game, more so with his feet than with his arm. And LSU didn't have an answer for him. Different coach, different offense, same player, different venue. 2 weeks ago, LSU went to Texas A&M and watched Marcel Reed run all over them in the second half. So I'm asking you, what does Alabama do that A&M did? Milroe as a runner versus Reed as a runner. Because if we go to postgame on Saturday night and Milroe's got the same rushing line that he had last year, which was 20 carries, 155 yards, 7.8 a carry, and 4 touchdowns, we ain't going to be a very happy postgame.
I'm going to say we got our butts whipped.
Yeah.
But, man, this is one that's kind of really frustrating me because go back 3 weeks ago and we kept Green in check. I mean, the defense had another running quarterback that, is we thought one of the best at doing it in the SEC.
He was a little bit injured, to be fair.
He was a little bit nicked up, but, we've shown that we can do it. And then if you go back and watch the film we broke down, look, Marcel Reed did great, and he's fast, and he's electric. I think he's different than Milroe. I think he's a little bit more shiftier and quick. Milroe, to me, is a big running back, but to the same, really good. But Reed was also surprised, halfway through the third quarter, bring him in. We gave him 3 short fields. I think, the defense got down. The first run was a complete bust. He scored on the 8-yard touchdown. The other ones, I think that we read it correctly, had misfits. Like you said, maybe they didn't, beat it into their heads in practice, but I guarantee you for the last 2 weeks, this is all they've been worried about. This is something that they got to get fixed. You're having, Zy Alexander's playing lights out on the edge. I saw a stat. He's given up less than 38 yards all year long, 0 touchdowns. The secondary is coming along. We're covering pretty well. The deep ball is where Milroe's good. He throws a good deep ball, but I think the focus is going to be on stopping the run, having a Whit Weeks type spy, somebody that's watching him at all times.
Let's talk about the spy for a second, because I hear that every time LSU plays against Run, just put a spy on him. Well, if it was that easy, anybody would do it. So talk to me about, and obviously Alabama knows that too.
And I say spy. I'm not saying, you're 100%, watching him the whole time. But if you got man coverage and you're a linebacker on the running back, he stays in, go. Your focus switches from the running back to Milroe. I mean, one of those things, if they're going to bring guys in that aren't going to go a tight end that stays in the block, the guy who was responsible for the tight end now becomes responsible for Milroe. You got to have extra guys knowing that, once your threat is no longer in play, that your next threat goes to the quarterback.
Rich, having the spy on him and being accountable for him is one thing. Actually getting him on the ground is much different. We watched him run against Georgia, and we're going to talk here in a minute about how he really hasn't since then. But that night, he looked just like he looked against LSU last year, and I'm quite certain Kirby Smart knew what he was getting into. So why was he able, with all of this extra attention paid to him, able to run through that Georgia defense?
He has, it's the toughest thing to do in football is when you have an elite running quarterback, because there's so much open field for him to run. You got to respect the pass, especially the guys that can do it. And once you drop back and set, you get to survey the field and realize what's happening and then pick and choose where you're going to run. It's something that's not, a design run where you got your keys, the guards pull, everybody flows in, they know where to stop him. When it's a quarterback who can just improvise and take off running at all times, there's no keys on where to go.
Offensively, I don't know what his offense is going to look like. I'm talking about Kalen DeBoer when he has all of his personnel in and he's got 3 years in the program. I know what he's running there now is not what they ran, or is not exactly what they ran at Washington. Milroe is not Penix. No. Penix could buy himself some time, but Penix was never really interested in running. And then I look at Alabama the last 4 weeks, particularly in the South Carolina game, where they tried to run and couldn't because that big and very athletic South Carolina front kept him hemmed in. He ran 18 times against South Carolina for 36 yards. And then I think about where LSU has had a lot of defensive improvement this year. It's on those ends. Yeah. Swinson and Jones have had really good years. So back to the old fashioned, we're talking about containment here. Yeah, these two guys, there's a lot of pressure on these two guys. You got to keep him hemmed in.
You want him trying to necessarily, step up and not give him big rushing lanes. And we always talk about with the defensive ends, when you have a running quarterback like that, you don't want to run upfield because you create a bigger gap when he steps up. You want to get to even with the quarterback to where you can play two ways on the inside. If he steps in, you can shut off inside and stop him, or you want to push him back further to where he's trying to roll back out and, lose time. I'm excited for it because, that's the biggest, teller to me is if he gets off and has a great running game, I don't think it goes good for us. And it's one of those things that I think we can stop it. I think we have 2 weeks of preparing for it, but it's one of those things that, Milroe shows up in these big games and, you just got to hope that, you have a better one.
I know there's going to be a lot of pressure on Whit Weeks to when they spy him. And I'm sure they will do that some. They may do it a lot. But to me, the big defensive pressure tomorrow is in 2 spots. It's on those 2 ends to contain, and it's on whoever's got Williams. And I suspect that will be Zy Alexander most of the time, maybe all of the time. But he's the guy that could get 5. He's the closest thing to Lynn Swann that I've seen.
Yeah.
That
we don't swap fields. I mean, I feel like, Zy's going to play the left corner. He's going to stay in the left corner.
Then I'd put Williams on the right side if I'm Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to be interested to watch. Are they going to try to keep him away from Zy Alexander, or are they going to say go beat him?
Williams is, like I say, he's the closest thing to Lynn Swann that I've seen, because the old Steelers, you look at their box score, and John Stallworth would have 9 catches for 100 yards. That was a bunch of yards and catches back then. Swann would have 3 catches for the same 100 yards, and that's what Williams is to me. I don't necessarily think that Williams is going to go out there and catch 10 passes tomorrow night, but he might catch 4, and 3 of them might, average 35 yards apiece. So how tough is it if you've been doing it one way the whole year, and you're saying Alexander's been married to one side, to say, okay, you know what, go with that cat?
You just want to make sure that your help's where it is. I mean, the safeties have got to understand where Williams at. You're going to have to understand that you've got to play, help on the over the top. Stamps is a great athlete. He can run with him, but he's going to need someone to, kind of make that throw have to be perfect.
The average yards per catch this year for Williams is 20 yards.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I would say, where that ranks in the Southeastern Conference, it's pretty close to first. I think there's a few guys that have fewer catches than he does that are ahead of him. But yeah, for guys that have as many catches as he leads the league in yards. I probably should have went with that stat. That's probably a little bit easier. One more thing, how much would you blitz? And we're talking about run blitzes too. I mean,
we're going to blitz. I mean, that's one thing I've seen is, we're not shying away from the blitz. We want to create pressure. The more we get after the quarterback, it seems the better our secondary does. They're playing, pretty close coverage. They're making the throws have to be perfect, have to get out. I don't see us slowing that down too much.
Well, and what are the risks that come along with that?
Well, the risk of if you don't play with gap integrity and play sound and everybody does their job, then you create bigger seams for a running quarterback to get out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. That's on Baker. You got to come up with
risk reward at this point.
The proper. Yeah. We're brought to you by Total Maintenance, AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop. Louisiana, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day. You call today, you get service today. You're not going to have to go to sleep hot, and as the weather changes, you're not going to have to go to sleep cold either. Full staff in both New Orleans and Baton Rouge, authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, Generac, and Cummings generators for all your electrical and plumbing needs as well. In Baton Rouge, it's 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. We'll take a break here at Ruffino's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Yo, Jake and T-Bob here. We've been talking about the All-Star Toyota rentals for a while, so during vacation season, we wanted to remind you about them.
That's right. All-Star Toyota has daily, weekly, and monthly rentals with flexible plans and competitive rates that blow the other places out of the water. In fact, you can rent a new Toyota for as little as $60 a day. These rentals are perfect for out-of-town trips, for business, or pleasure.
All-Star Toyota, located on Airline at Goodwood. Check out their website at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com/rental. People you know, cars you trust. All-Star Toyota.
So there's all these reasons to go to Alpha Customs, but I only have 30 seconds, so I'm going to do this in one breath. 5-star reviews, wheel and tire packages, best lifts on the road for trucks, spray and bed liners starting at $333, window tinting, endless accessory options, still going, custom upgrades, easy financing with the Alpha Customs 100-day payment plan, locations in Prairieville and Lafayette, and online at alphacustoms.net. Whew, I did it. Best reason you and your ride can be in Alpha with Alpha Customs.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Build up to Black Friday with savings all month long at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to pick up holiday inflatables under $20. Don't wait to save, in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items while supplies last.
In honor of Veterans Day, Twin Peaks is celebrating those who have given the ultimate sacrifice by giving back to Tunnel to Towers. Tunnel to Towers helps America's heroes provide homes to first responder families. Get to Twin Peaks and donate $5 to Tunnel to Towers through November 30th and receive $5 back to spend on yourself at Twin Peaks this December. Twin Peaks, 6990 Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
After performing 30,000 dental implant procedures, the doctors here at Fusion Implant Center have witnessed life-changing transformation of so many patients. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan.
And I'm Dr. Michael Casadban. Are you one of the 50 million people who are missing teeth and wearing dentures that just don't fit and are uncomfortable? Well, in just one day, you can have permanent teeth with a perfect smile.
The board-certified doctors here at the Fusion Implant Center guarantee your procedures to be done correctly, painlessly, and cost-effectively. We are the experts who teach these procedures all over the country.
This team of experts and our state-of-the-art operating rooms are conveniently located in one facility. This allows your treatment to be coordinated and can be started in as little as 10 to 14 days.
So don't go one more day feeling insecure or missing out on the ability to enjoy smiling and eating. Transform your smile in one day at the Fusion Implant Center. Call today or visit fusionimplantcenter.com.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter.
See your Super Chevy dealers today.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we welcome you back in here at Ruffino's Live at Lunch. I want to say thank you to everybody that came out last night. We had a tremendous event at BRQ, red, white, and blue for our, in accordance with Veterans Day, which is Monday. We do this event every year, and we pick a charity that benefits veterans. And the charity we picked last night was Brothers and Sisters in Arms, which is out of Leesville, Louisiana. They do service dog training, and I was blown away and really, really moved by the stories that the veterans that were there last night told about this group, which they take dogs, and the veterans train with the dogs so that they can help them get over PTSD, deal with PTSD. One of the veterans was talking about the traumatic brain injury, the blackouts, the memory loss, the dreams, the things like that they deal with when they come back from a combat mission or a mission where they've been injured. And the service that these dogs provide, you actually train with the dog, you learn how to train the dog, and then the dog becomes an invaluable help to these veterans. It's a tremendous organization. Like I said, I was blown away. It was at times a really emotional night that these veterans talked about what these dogs had done. And the Brothers and Sisters in Arms do not charge. Okay, you can bring the dog in, and they will train you with the dog, and you sort of you form that bond. And the success stories and the testimonials that they gave last night. We raised a lot of money. If you're interested in learning more about it, it's called Brother and Sister PTSD Dogs. Brother and Sister PTSD Dogs.org. And if you're driving and you miss that, tweet me out. I'll tweet it out, send it out on X, because it's a phenomenal organization, and just really, really proud to have raised some money for them last night. And it was a great event. So thank you to everybody who came out. Thank you to the Brothers and Sisters in Arms Dog Training. They were phenomenal last night. Rich, let's get back to this game. It is very odd for me to look at the Southeastern Conference standings and see Alabama near the bottom in rush defense. If you could count on anything out of a Nick Saban team, really most of the Alabama teams, they will stop the run no matter what. You want to throw the ball over their heads, or you got a running quarterback, or you got a Joe Burrow who can't miss accuracy-wise, God bless. But you ain't going to run the ball on the Tide. This year, people have. So when you watch them, what's different?
I just think, it's the intensity of all 11 on defense. And they're just guys that are learning something new. I don't feel like, Nick Saban was such a hard football coach who didn't, you never saw him stop coaching on the field. Like, they could have a great play and somebody messed up. He coached that guy up all the time. I think the attention level and just the way he coached those guys stayed so focused. This is a year that, that they've struggled with it a little bit. And, I don't know if it's, talent wise, they lost a lot of players when they left last year. I think they lost 39 to the draft and transfer or graduation. You got new guys on there that you don't have that mentality. I mean, it's a learned mentality when, Nick Saban's beat that into that program for so long.
Richard, it's very odd to me when I look at the Southeastern Conference statistics and I see the rush offense stats and I see LSU not near the bottom, but at the bottom.
The only team in the SEC that doesn't have 1,000 rushing yards yet.
If you put another way.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 920. The only team in the SEC that, as a team, has not rushed for 1,000 yards.
How many shows did we do in August, whatever number that was? If any of us had suggested at that time LSU will be the worst rushing team in the Southeastern Conference when we enter November, it would have been laughed completely. This was supposed to be the strength of this team. The offensive line, you had multiple backs, and it hasn't materialized. You and I did a film study this week from back in the USC game while they were able to run the ball nobody was interested in hearing about what you did. Okay, so are you going to make a wholehearted effort at running the football here? Or are you just going to say, you know what, we'll do enough to keep you honest, but we know that Nussmeier's got to get you going.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it a shot. You got to try. To me, I think the biggest change is, we're running the same style philosophy of run, we had the past 2 years with Jaden Daniels, and it just does not work with Nussmeier. When Jaden pulled it, it opened up the whole run game. The guys could not crash on the zone read. Guys could work both ways. You had Jaden who was keeping it, that led our team in rushing last year. And now we're running that same style of run play, but with a quarterback who's never going to pull it. And we showed you in the plays where we had success against USC, where the defensive ends were still respecting the zone read. They hadn't seen the tape. They haven't been on film to where, when they put the ball on that mesh point, the defensive end would stop and allow the running back to get upfield. Now no one's even stopping anymore. They're just completely crashing. They're selling out on it until, they see something different. I mentioned that I like some of the runs they're doing out of pistol. They had some sweep plays they did in USC that I'd like to get back in there just to be a little bit more, put a little bit more of, guess into which way you're running the ball.
They'll be without Garrett Dellinger, and Paul Mubenga has got a heck of a job. You saw him a little bit against Texas A&M. Rich, they spent, and I'm not saying this is all on Mubenga, but they spent the night in 2nd and 10.
Yeah.
So how big a deal is that?
I think it's a big deal.
Not have you seen your left guard there?
We talk about that, how bad the rushing was in the A&M game. When you finished with 24 yards and we had 23 in the second drive of the game, I mean, it was bad. And to me, it really goes to when he went out. And it's not only that you're down Dellinger, you're down Tyree Adams, who's the next guy up, who's going to slide in there or move guys around. I think Mubenga just is he's obviously a guy they feel confident in. They put him in that situation. I'm assuming he's the guy they're rolling with this week. But I know how it is to see a guy get thrown out there that wasn't, ready or wasn't, expected to play, and maybe he was a little bit shell shocked. I think that, he's a guy that they got trust in. That now that he's had 2 weeks to prepare as a starter, we'll see what happens.
I think that Garrett Nussmeier is the best passing quarterback that Alabama has seen this year. The comp would be Carson Beck at Georgia. The passing numbers for LSU and Georgia are nearly identical through 8 weeks of the season. Beck lit him up for 439. Now, it took him a while to get going. Georgia only ran the ball for 80 yards in that game. The difference was that Beck threw 3 interceptions. If Beck throws 2 interceptions, if Beck throws 1 interception, even with the bad start, Georgia might have won the game. So you go back and look at that film and what Georgia was able to exploit without much of a running game. They averaged 3 yards a carry. and they let Beck wing it. Now they were behind. They were behind. They weren't just behind. They were behind 4 scores. So maybe some of this was soft coverage. But I look at Nussmeier as a better quarterback than Beck at this point because he turns the ball over in the last month a little less, and particularly at home.
Yeah, when you talk about that game and the yards and the 3 interceptions, the first thing I'm thinking of is A&M, where Nussmeier threw over 400 yards, but the 3 interceptions were timely
on the road.
He plays well at home, but you cannot have those mistakes in this game. You can't give Alabama extra opportunities to have to stop Jalen Milroe. You can't give him the ball that many times and let him, because he's a playmaker. He's gonna eventually make a play. You can stop him, 3 out of 4 times, but if you give him enough opportunities, he's going to break one. This is when you got to play clean. He's got to play a very smart game, stay in rhythm. And look, if we rush the ball for 20 yards in any game, it's going to make his job that much harder.
Chris Hilton came back in the last game. They targeted him a number of times where he mistimed a couple of jumps. They got him isolated for one of the shorter passes, but they took some shots deep. He's had a couple of weeks now where he's more into a rhythm. I didn't think that it loosened up A&M all that much when they took the shots. Now, maybe if they'd hit one of them, it would have. How much do you have him involved tomorrow?
I hope that, they're a little bit more comfortable. Their timing's back together. Their chemistry's gotten a little bit better because the shots he had the other night were shots you want to take. I mean, that's the thing that's going to press people off, back him up, because you see the difference in speed he has when he gets out there. He's a guy that can really run straight ahead and can get on a cornerback's hip and have the opportunity to play. The play you're talking about, where I think he did make a difference inside, because he ran the wide route, the go route. Everybody had to drop back. He had him beat, but you also saw Anderson on the inside part, where he opened up that whole side of the field for him, that he could have dumped it off for 10 yards and probably ran for 30 or 40. But they got to hit a few of those deep balls. I mean, we've been saying that can also help in the run game. If you can start hitting those and have guys back up a little bit and just have guys play a little bit softer coverage, things get easier on the inside.
Was listening to Matt's show yesterday, or maybe it was the day before yesterday, where they were talking about, he had one of the Alabama guys on. They were talking about Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor's a guy that they're really worried about, their fan base, right? Taylor had the catch that everybody remembers for the 2-point conversion, but against Alabama in that game 2 years ago, he only had 3 catches, but he had the one that everybody remembers. Taylor's role in this game.
He's your safety blanket. I mean, anytime that we get in a tough 3rd and medium, 3rd and 8, when we get into a situation, that's Nussmeier's guy. That's the guy he's going to anytime he has to make a play. He doesn't hit him on the deep ball very often, but in that 3rd and medium, 3rd to long range, 3rd to 7 to 12, he's the guy that Nussmeier's going to, 9 out of 10 times.
This game could hinge on a turnover. Both of these quarterbacks have been prone to turn the ball over. Milroe's got 6 fumbles to go along with his 6 interceptions. I'm just going to, for the moment, say that if you've got turnover-prone quarterbacks, the guy at home turns it over less than the guy on the road. Am I reading too much into this where Garrett Nussmeier is concerned? Because I just don't think he has that kind of second half against Texas A&M if the game's in Tiger Stadium.
No, I mean, the thing to me is, once you're limited, once you take away the run game and put everything into his arm, and he feels like he has to make every play, he has to make every throw. Because look, we talked about the difference between him. Jaden Daniels had that pressure on him last year, but he could also take off and run it. When Nussmeier, we're talking about, he has to make every play with his arm. But if you can give him some pressure, it takes some pressure off of him to where he's comfortable and he's just throwing it to the open guys, getting rid of it when he needs to get rid of it, and not feeling like he has to make a play on every throw. I think we're in a good position.
Is there some I'm looking for, and I don't want to call this a trick play. I just want to call this a break tendency play. You had 2 weeks to self-scout. Certainly, there's got to be some tendency that they could break. And the first thing I'm thinking of is Garrett Nussmeier runs the ball twice tomorrow night, but one of them just catches Alabama flat-footed. Certainly, there's got to be something on tape. We went back and watched USC tape. We watched these guys that were respecting the run, which teams no longer, of the quarterback, which the teams no longer do. So give me a Give me a bootleg. I'm not something as simple as a zone read. Give me a bootleg in a key spot. Give me some tendency breaker.
Pull it I don't care if you get back to the line of scrimmage and slide. Pull it a couple times to where they know that you're going to pull it. They think you're going to pull it, and it just gives them another. Give a half a second for that guy to make a decision on if he's selling out to the running back or going to see you pull it.
You don't want to do that early. You want to do it early? Or you want I don't want to do it on the first drive, but I want to do it early enough.
I want to do it early enough to where it makes a difference in the second half.
Keeps them aware.
Make them go to halftime and say, "Hey guys, we can't freaking just crash every time. He might pull it."
If he were, I just cannot fathom how big of a deal it would be if he pulled it in drive 2 or drive 3. And Alabama's selling out like the way everybody else has, and he pulls it and he runs for 20 yards. The place would go crazy. The offense would go crazy. Alabama sideline would go crazy.
Yeah.
And they'd have to talk about it at halftime.
No doubt.
Now, he pulls it and he gets buried at the line of scrimmage and turns an ankle. Then, boy, aren't we stupid? Why wouldn't you just throw the ball? Because that's what he does right. I mean, these are the things that keep coaches up at night.
Get in the pistol a little bit and just give a different look. Don't do same. Get into a different look where you don't know if they're running to the left or the right.
How about this? Okay, you pull one, and Garrett, if you see anybody out there, go down. I mean, it's like
that's what I was talking about. I don't care if you get back to the line of scrimmage. If you see the guy coming after you, pull it, get down.
Yeah, I don't need you trying to bull over people. Strap, you can shoot the ball if you're under the goal all by yourself. Okay, that's it. We're brought to you by Home Bank, Louisiana-based since 1908. Some great CD rates right now. And, terrific yields, but also some of the shorter term CDs that you can get involved with right now and for low minimum balances. So this is available to just about anybody. Talk to one of the local bankers at a Baton Rouge location of Home Bank, Corporate, Sherwood Forest, Longform Village, or Blue Bonnet. You can also find Home Bank locations in Acadiana, New Orleans, the North Shore, Natchez, and Houston. Go to home24bank.com for more information. Home Bank, member FDIC. We'll take a break. We'll come back with some final thoughts with Richard Dixon here in the first hour of Live at Lunch from Ruffino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is head coach Brian Kelly. When running a football program or any organization, core values are so important to the success of the operation. Integrity, honesty, and family is what they're all about at Hollingsworth Richards Ford, and I've experienced that firsthand. Now in my 3rd year here in Baton Rouge, I've gotten to know them through their support of our football program. So it's simple. All of you truck buyers across the state, and I know there are a lot of you, when it's time for that brand new vehicle, go to Hollingsworth Richard Ford and tell them Coach Kelly sent you.
Get your Butterball Thanksgiving turkey free at Rouse's Markets. Buy a Hormel Cure 81 spiral sliced ham for just $2.99 a pound and get a Butterball Grade A frozen turkey up to 14 pounds for free. That's right. Buy a Hormel Cure 81 spiral sliced ham. Get a free Butterball Grade A frozen turkey for your Thanksgiving dinner. Limit 1 per customer with $25 in-store purchase. Visit Rouses.com for more details. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the Saints.
Hey, it's Gordy Rush, and one thing for sure, my friends at Gulf Coast Bank and Trust have the tools you need from a bank to help you reach your goals. Whether your business is planning its next big step or just taking its first, you can benefit from Gulf Coast Bank and Trust's knowledgeable bankers, their personal service, easy-to-use technology, and business solutions. So get to know the local bank that cares about you. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1, 2, 3.
The 2024 College Football Pick'em presented by Hooters is underway. Get your picks in now at 1045ESPN.com. This year, weekly winners will receive a Hooters wing party for 10 people. And the first place season-long champion will win a 75-inch 4K TV, soundbar, and free Hooters wings for an entire year. It's the 2024 College Football Pick'em presented by Hooters. Winging it since 1983. Get those picks in now at 1045ESPN.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Richard, I think we're in for a treat tomorrow night. You can't ever say, well, the game's definitely going to go this way, but we can look at some trends. Alabama has played 5 SEC games. 4 of them have been decided by 1 score. And LSU has played 5 SEC games. The South Carolina game is decided could have gone to overtime on the last play of the game. The Ole Miss game did go to overtime. And then the A&M game was, I thought, a really exciting game and got away from LSU in the latter stages of the third quarter. And, there's really been one blowout for each team. LSU blew out Arkansas, and Alabama blew out a depleted Missouri team last week. Is there any indication that this is going to be anything but a one? The point spread is, just under 3. Is there any indication, anything at all? Any one, man, this is a real problem for this. This is not going to be right there in the fourth quarter, a 1-score game, and start biting your fingernails.
No, I mean, that's where I'm at. I mean, where Alabama's weak, we're not particularly strong. I mean, there's a lot of things that put us to, when you go look at the stats, you go to CFB stats or whatever it is, there's a lot of things where Alabama and LSU are neck and neck, and they're really close to each other. I think it's going to be one of those games that, you talk about who protects the ball, who gets the most opportunities, and, just who plays the most complete game.
I ask you this every game, every big game. This is a big game, big game. Most of the practice is done. We're into the afternoon. We're into Friday afternoon here in a couple hours. So the big practices are done. Most of the work is done. You've still got meetings and all that stuff. But you've got roughly some 32 hours between now and time to kick it off. As a player, what do you do? I mean, how do you fill the time?
About now, I mean, they're going to have a walkthrough about 1:15. You're going to go through and walk through your key plays, key looks, get everything, just work out the mental side of it. And then you try to relax Friday afternoon, just try to go sit in the hotel. Is that
possible?
You can take a couple hours in the hotel to BSing with your buddies, just talking. And then you're going to get back to the hotel room tonight. And I don't know how they do it now. We had our test book, and we were given 20 different looks, 30 different looks. Call the play and write it out where you're blocking it. Just go over the mental side of it, and then you wake up tomorrow morning and it's game time. It's 100% focus.
You got to be 100% focused from the time you get up. I guess what I'm talking about is that all I hear this every year at the Super Bowl because those guys are more used to playing at noon. It's like, man, you get up, it's still 8, 9 hours, 12 hours to game time.
You usually have those meetings. You go to breakfast before 10. You go through some film. You do another walkthrough, go over some looks, and then you try to go lay in bed and watch whatever game is on the midday slate.
Yeah.
Try to take your mind off of it a little bit, and then when you get down there for pregame meal 4 hours before kickoff, the switch is over. Nobody's talking.
Nice segue. The midday game is Georgia and Ole Miss. Who you like?
I like Ole Miss in this one. I think that it's. I say that. I mean, every time they have to show up in one of the situations, they don't. But one of these plays, when I go back and look at the stats, I was looking at Ole Miss's offense is elite in every stat. They've only thrown 3 interceptions. I think this is a game to where if Georgia struggles with turnovers, it's a game where Ole Miss can take a lead.
I've been trying to figure out how much of Lane Kiffin's novelesque injury report is fiction and how much of it is nonfiction. If it's anything close to what is being written, it could be his top 2 receivers and his top 2 running backs are at the very least limited.
I didn't know that part. Well, now I'm going to switch my pick to Georgia.
Well, like I said, Lane could be trolling the league office here because,
with his injury
that
deal.
memo was directed at him.
You're the one that sent it to the league office.
I know. And I get to be compensated for that. Thanks a bunch, Rich. We'll see you tomorrow in pregame. Back with hour number 2 here at Ruffino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is your new home for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, and blocked from behind by Williamson. Taken by Murphy. Throws it up the floor to Jose. Stop, pop, right corner 3. What a sequence that was.
Visit 1045ESPN.com for a complete list of games you'll hear on 104.5 FM, 104.9 FM, and 98.1 HD2.
Hey, dunks it! Oh, my heavens!
The New Orleans Pelicans are on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Get going and get it done. Get going and get it done. Car wrecks done. Personal injury done. Workers' comp done. Truck wrecks done. Get going and get it done. Get going and get it done.
Attorney Gordon McKerney, Baton Rouge, LA 22 13634.
Get going.
Okay, let's talk turkey. Not that kind of turkey. Bayou Ford can get you in a brand new F-150 with $15,000 off MSRP.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off America's favorite truck, Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty, and when we make a deal, we'll pay off your trade regardless of what you owe.
Shop BayouFord.com or visit us just off I-10 in La Place. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you. $11,000 discount, $4,000 rebate. Stock number F4181.
Hey, it's Hunt Palmer. I take my home viewing experience seriously. You should too by calling Audio Video Security Solutions. Mitchell Fisher and his local AVSS team can do everything from delivering and mounting your television or surround sound to providing and installing whole home audio, even automated lighting, shade, and climate control. Make your house the place to watch the game. Give Mitchell Fisher a call at 225-439-7920. It's AVSS Audio Video Security Solutions online at avssla.com.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Build up to Black Friday with savings all month long at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to pick up holiday inflatables under $20. Don't wait to save, in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items while supplies last.
Make your next corporate event a hit at Main Event. Main Event offers a unique and exciting atmosphere with pro-level bowling, thrilling laser tag, and over 100 arcade games. Whether it's a team building event, a holiday party, or a company milestone celebration, we've got you covered. And our dedicated event planners will ensure everything runs smoothly so you can focus on having fun. Book your next corporate event with us today and experience the difference. Visit mainevent.com to book now. It's mainevent.com.
Is it time for you to get new windows, doors, or siding? Then I have two pieces of advice for you. Call Tommy's Windows and get multiple quotes. Then you can compare our costs, products, and references. Go to GoTommys.com to give us a chance. We're Tommy's Windows.
Go Tommy's!
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And welcome you back to hour number 2, Live at Lunch. Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments. Charles Hanagriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gocho. George Kinch is back in the studio. Jimmy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
All right. LSU Bama. We had a lot of talk about that. Did you make it through the game last night?
And them talking about the Tiger, man. T-Bob, big proponent, of Omar coming in. So
that's sarcasm, right?
You know me, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, man. What you gonna do, man? When we got word of that the same, like, okay. Well, I mean, there's other ways I'm going to enjoy this game besides.
I'm way closer to T-Bob's side than the other side.
Well,
it's LSU Bama. That's plenty. Okay, I don't.
It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much. It's kind of a nothing to me.
I don't need
political season, right?
Well, yeah, sort of.
A lot of sort of.
Well, no, a lot of it ended on Tuesday, is what I'm saying.
Oh well, no.
There's a little bit.
That's why I like my little bubble, Charlie. I don't count. That's my favorite.
Much as I make fun of you, there are some advantages to your bubble. I will.
Oh,
give
really?
You, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You ever hear people when they talk about politics get like all cheerful?
Angry?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Agitated.
Yeah.
That's a great way to live.
Right.
I'll choose my bubble.
There's some advantages to that.
How are you? Take all your shots. I'm 50-50, even money anytime to even know who the vice president is, and that's fine.
How were you on the game last night?
I didn't play it. I didn't like it. And as you see, I mean, came down to covering or not was down to a spot that 4th and 10. I mean, how close was that guy? I mean, his knee went down. Where's the ball? I mean, if they call him short on the field, they're not reversing it.
No,
they called it a first down. To keep it going. I mean, and there you go.
I thought they got it right, but there might have been another angle. I thought he landed on the 40.
Yeah, the Bengals.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't. No,
you didn't. Okay,
I had the over. So
that was in already, huh?
Yeah. So I think I can be objective. I thought he had made it. I thought it was close. I never saw an angle that led me to believe he didn't. I saw plenty of angles that led me to believe they missed a bunch of calls on Joe Burrow. But
I saw like the late third quarter on. I went to go see my little buddy Charles Musgrove on senior night. So
that's what I didn't start watching until about the beginning of the fourth quarter as well. We had the event last night, so I didn't get the chance to see. Until the fourth.
But here we go. I mean, was Burrow great?
Yes.
No running game. Limited protection. Wasn't last night's game kind of the You check Chase, and Chase is great. Chase is great. They had a little debate, who's the best quarterback wide receiver combination. How is it not Burrow and Chase this year? How is it not?
This year, I can't come up with anybody better than that. No.
So, I mean, you got Goff and St. Brown, but I mean, so Chase has, I don't know, 250, whatever he had. I mean, 3 touchdowns.
264 and 3 touchdowns.
260 in an NFL game. And so, and Burrow's great, but they just, there's so little room for error. I mean, they got to They got to score almost every possession. It's just, but the fumble killed them too. That provided the spark. And I mean, you got a 2-touchdown lead in the third quarter in the ball. I mean, what's the end game there? 7.5. What's the probability? It's a money line minus what, 500?
Right.
So they can't make errors. You make one little error, they're going to lose. And how many close games have they lost? But then again, and our buddy Mike Lombardi, his in-season MVP was he fudges. It's not a player; it's a group. Who is the in-season unit MVP?
The Ravens offensive line?
Detroit offensive line.
The Detroit, okay. Well,
who's on that Detroit offensive line?
Panay Sewell.
Yeah. And so you got and Burrows got smashed again last night. He was really good. Chase was really productive. But when it's over, I'm going to woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's like if they'd have taken Sewell ahead, I would have to protect Joe first. He's still not healthy this year. And, man, the way he's getting hit, because they have no running game, you're not going to respect the running game for Cincinnati. You're going to get the passer. I mean, that's usually in late in the game. That's all game, against Cincinnati. And they've lost a lot. This is the close games. A 2-point conversion, kind of a come see, come saw for me as well. So, I mean, which the only thing that I think I would look to Chase.
Oh, they had it before they call a timeout. Herb Street was pointing out they got one-on-one with Chase. They motioned the slot receiver back to the
they weren't disguising it. It was
no, because they motioned the slot receiver to the near side, and he goes with him, and he's got one-on-one with Chase on the top half, and they they let the clock run out and they call timeout, and I was like, man, you had it, you're going to one-on-one to your best receiver, and They went to something else. Now, they missed a couple of calls. I think he was looking for Gesicki, and Gesicki got mugged in the middle of the field. We're watching it again here. But, no, I would have taken my chances with Chase one-on-one on the fade up to the top corner.
Burrow said post-game it was his first read where he ended up throwing.
I didn't think he was checking down.
He didn't see Gesicki.
He wasn't looking to him.
He wasn't? Okay.
No.
I
According
missed that.
to Joe. So.
Yeah. Well, he would know. Even if he wasn't looking to him, Gesicki still got mugged. He
did. No, you got to call it.
Yeah, even the official in the booth said that.
Even in a spot where, like, okay, we're eating a whistle here. No, you still got to call that. I mean, but.
And then the other part of the game to me was that, right now, and I know it's all going to be, but what you do in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson can't play any better either. I mean, he is not running the ball either. I mean, he does a little bit of that, but his accuracy at this point, his comfort level, that third down where they score the touchdown is a big play. I don't know if they're going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 6. And if they kick a field goal, I think Cincinnati's going to go down and win the game. He buys himself some time. He throws it right on the money. It's a little kind of jump pass. He's at the top of his game right now. And even with my fistful of Jaden Daniels MVP tickets, if I had to vote today, if I'm going to be honest about it, I vote for Lamar Jackson again.
I don't think he was the best quarterback in the game last night.
I think he's been the best quarterback in the league this year.
Over Josh Allen?
Yeah, a little bit. The numbers, his quarterback rating is significantly higher than anybody else's. The Allen's having a great year. I'm not arguing that.
Who's got a better running game?
Baltimore does.
Who's got a better offensive line? Who's got better? More weapons, better weapons.
Baltimore does. Okay.
Keep in mind, the injuries on the defensive side that Buffalo had coming in. I mean, this is Josh Allen, I think, is carrying his team a little bit more. But, I mean, I think that Lamar Jackson has improved his passing until he wins more than 2 playoff games, 2 and 6 in the playoffs. And it's because of his limitations. But, Charlie, some of these throws, how many of these throws are the guys just wide open? Because they're still – do you think that Cincinnati just had a good night playing base defense against Derrick Henry last night? They're having to commit more to the running game. So and that's part of Jackson. And look, his legs present easier throwing opportunities, but the better throw, there's no doubt who it was last night, but they win. And so, boom, you get it. It doesn't. And if Cincinnati gets a 2-point conversion and they hold Baltimore, it's just, It doesn't take the better quarterback was Joe Burrow last night, and that is Lamar Jackson. I think he might be I think he has gotten better though as a passer, but he's been so bad. And when you get him behind the chains, it's not. But he's more than just Andrews. Now, likely was out. He's a guy. Andrews we did see him again last night. That used to be the only guy he could make throws to, but he has improved a lot as a passer. To your point, I don't think he's had the best season of all the quarterbacks. I think Josh Allen has less to work with at Buffalo.
I'm not going to argue the personnel part of it, but I don't know that we got to ding Jackson for that either. His completion percentage is up in the top of the league with the top yards per attempt, and his yards per attempt is almost it's better than half a yard higher than Goff. And it's a yard and a half better than Allen. So when you are completing that high percentage of passes and you are pushing the ball down the field, it's tops in the league. Wilson's got him by a little bit, but Wilson's only played 2 games. And you're leading the league in touchdown passes, and you're leading the league in quarterback rating by a lot, and you're still a threat to run it. I think you're the best for the 10 games that he's played so far. I'd vote for him for MVP right now. And I realize that it's a completely legitimate criticism to say he's done this in the regular season before, and in the
regular season award. He's shaping up to be a Peyton Manning, and can't be any different with their skill set and their approach. But he is shaping up to be a really great regular season quarterback. But he got a lot to prove in the postseason when it counts.
When they get to the postseason, they will put up his regular season numbers against his postseason numbers for every year that he's played so far, and that's completely fair. But to your thing with the weapons he's got, he's never had somebody like Derrick Henry behind him, and tackling Derrick Henry in January is not something that I would want to do.
Well, he's on pace to hit 2,000 yards.
Yes.
How many
came
quarterbacks do have a 2,000-yard rusher? If you do, you don't depend on your quarterback. It's usually
no, you usually don't. Who was the quarterback for the Rams when Dickerson went 2,100? Exactly. I'm trying to remember myself.
Everett? No, Everett was gone, huh?
I don't know if Everett was there yet.
Charlie, I'm trying to.
It might be Dieter Brock for all I know.
No. Brock was on that team that lost to Chicago in '85.
Well, didn't Dickerson do this in '84?
Was it? You're better at that than me.
He was. Yeah, I think it was his second year in the league. He was in the '83 draft. I think it was '84. I'll find out during the break.
I cash no tickets on who has 2,000 yards in what year. So
I'm going Dieter Brock. I'm gonna look it up during the break.
Look it up, Charlie.
You see what's for lunch today? Yeah.
Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. He's got no help.
Jeff Kemp, Charlie.
Jeff Kemp. Okay.
He was a politician, wasn't he?
His dad was. Jack.
Oh, his dad.
Yeah,
that was close, Charlie.
His dad played quarterback for Buffalo and was a congressman or a senator. I can't remember which one.
Over here at Ruffino's, big night, pre-Bama night. Yes, indeed. Going to be a lot like the Ole Miss Friday night over here. So crab cakes with the saffron and Meyer lemon aioli, charred red cabbage slaw, crispy Brussels sprouts with the sweet chili glaze with Korean chili flake. The entree features Ora King salmon, the grilled Ora King salmon with cream spinach, smoked salmon roe, suggested wine pairing of Pejus Chardonnay out of Napa. Blackened prime rib, 16-ounce blackened prime rib with horseradish and sour cream mash. The Marchand de Vin herb butter wine pairing, suggested wine pairing is a Frank family Cabernet from Napa. And our dessert feature this weekend tonight is the cookies and cream cannolis. Oh, mascarpone cookies, cream filling with Oreo crumbles. And the specialty cocktail is the Yule Fashion Yellowfin Tory charred vodka, spice syrup, and bitters, orange bitters, Amareno's cherry syrup. Oh, got a lot of them. That's a tough one there.
We got to try that, though.
And don't forget our Ruffino's Old Elk, our exclusive hand-picked single-barrel select bourbon is available here as well.
Yuletide old fashions, right?
Yule fashion, yeah. Yuletide old fashion.
We can see the holidays.
But it's with a vodka, not a.
Okay, I see what you got.
Yeah,
okay, well,
yeah.
we'll report back to you on that next week. maybe grab one after the show. Live at lunch, Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Grove Recovery Center asks you to call to let their family help yours. And know this, each of the members of the Grove's admission team are not only in recovery, they've also made that same phone call. So please know that when you reach out to them, there will be no judgment or ridicule, rather sympathy and understanding. After less than 10 minutes, a program of recovery destined for you begins. That phone call is the beginning of a new life. Let someone that's changed theirs help you change yours with the Grove Recovery Center, 310-2600.
Football season is back, and the best place to watch all the action all season long is at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana, with wall-to-wall TVs and award-winning jumbo chicken wings. What more could you possibly want? Pluckers is also a great spot to host your fantasy football draft, with the commissioner getting a gift card when you schedule in advance. Make sure Pluckers is part of your game day plans every game day all season long. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
In Louisiana, it's not if you're going to need a home standby generator. The question is when. Optimized Generator People are Louisiana's largest and best full-service Generac dealership, with 4 locations covering all of South Louisiana from Lake Charles to Slidell. And they only do one thing: home standby Generac generators. Prepare now so you can stop worrying about not having emergency power when you need it. It's optimized. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com.
Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. Service today, every day. Nobody likes to go to sleep hot. With a full staff in both Baton Rouge and New Orleans, Total Maintenance is an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, and Generac and Cummings generators. In Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. New Orleans, 841-3300. Total Maintenance, your authorized AC dealer.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Build up to Black Friday with savings all month long at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to pick up holiday inflatables under $20. Don't wait to save. In store or online now. Because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. While supplies last.
Make LeBear's Baton Rouge your game day headquarters this season. They've got the biggest screens around, and now you can bet and dine at ESPN Bet in person. Plus, sign up today for Cover 5's SEC contest. Go to the Cover 5 app, click on Join a League, and enter the code LABRSEC24. Pick each SEC game that week, play against your friends, and enter to win weekly and season-long prizes. Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today. LeBear's Baton Rouge, your live sports headquarters. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966 for help.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me as we talk college football all year long, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's brought to you locally by Louisiana Turf Company. Visit them at louisianaturf.com.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. If you switch your residential or commercial trash pickup to us, we promise to never sell your trash to the paparazzi. Seriously.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 104.5ESPN.com, the new LouisianaSports.net.
All right, let's go out to San Diego, talk to my buddy Chris Rosero. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I'd be doing a little better if Joe Burrow and the Bengals didn't blow that 14-point lead or whatever. But
well, you covered the spread easily,
I know you just did a whole segment. I know you just did a whole segment on it, but oh my God, that Zach Taylor, I could throw him out a window.
Man, we've been talking about this cat for a long time, and listen, when it's also the organization, we were very concerned about Burrow going to Cincinnati. I mean, is this which one's going to win out? This poorly run organization or this guy who's really, really special? And look, I mean, on a day where they chase, it looks, I mean, is there a better combination of quarterback and receiver than he and Jamar Chase this year? Probably not. But then in the same sense, he's playing hurt. He's getting hit a lot. And Penei Sewell is part of the best offensive line unit in the league. So,
yeah, as I was tweeting last night, I said you should probably maybe mix in a run, or you're just going to get your quarterback kneecap decapitated. I mean, how many times are you going to win a game when you're throwing the ball 56 times versus 14 planned runs? It's unbelievable.
Well, they have no running game, and so they think they're wasted downs. And I mean, this is what and they don't have a real back. They got a bunch of third down backs. I mean, and so when you run Chase Brown between the tackles, I mean, I'm sorry, Brett Bielema ran him 1,000 times at Illinois, but that doesn't he's going to wear out his running game wherever he goes. I don't know. Who's your MVP so far this year in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say they're going to give it to Lamar again, but he is doing some spectacular things, and he's been on the big stage a lot this year. I think it's a 3-horse race between Goff, Allen, and Lamar. But maybe even if Henry somehow has a couple more big games, maybe does break the record. You got to factor him in there, but probably those 3 quarterbacks and Henry.
I shared the injury list for you. You still have some futures on Ole Miss, and Ole Miss has shown us a couple of things as we've grown deeper into the season to know that South Carolina and Columbia is pretty damn tough. Okay, that's one thing. And nobody's beating them over there like Ole Miss has. I mean, bad. And then who can go to an SEC venue and put up 700 yards of offense, which Ole Miss did. So Lane Kiffin gets mad because Sankey is talking about him mostly when he talks about the new policy for the faking injuries. And he puts out 26 players on his my buddy Brett Norsworthy from the Memphis area and does postgame for Ole Miss says it is complete BS, but the Rebels against Georgia tomorrow. I know it's not one of your picks, but what do you think? 85% of the spread tickets at Bet Rivers are on Georgia on the road here.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a quandary because I have the previous tickets, future parlays, closing to Ole Miss for a very sizable amount, and I also have some future parlays closing to Alabama for national championship. So I'm doing a little bit of a hedge this week. Luckily, DraftKings lets you do some alternative lines. I actually think Ole Miss is the right side, but I'm going to try to maybe get Ole Miss to win the game by 3 or less, and same with LSU. And I hopefully can get Bama to move on and Ole Miss to go on. I'd love to get all 4 of them somehow in the tournament, but we're not going to get that. But maybe Bama and Ole Miss sneak in. Georgia also sneaks in. Yeah, but it really is an elimination game, this Bama LSU game this weekend.
All right, let's go to your picks this week. 4-1 last week, Chris. Very good. Army still has yet to trail this year. Well, it's a battle of run versus pass in this when they go to Denton, Texas, to take on North Texas, the Mean Green. Army 4-point favorites right now on the road. Is the quarterback going to play?
Yeah, that's a big question. This Bryson Daly, he's a Abernathy, Texas resident. Big high school star there. That's only 4 hours from Denton, Texas, where they're playing this game. So you figure he's going to play because the total is ticking up. But the spread has gone from 6 to 4. Maybe he's not going to play. So I still like the over. If he plays, this is definitely an over game. And I like North Texas. I played North Texas at +6. This team's gone toe-to-toe versus Memphis and Tulane. Their quarterback, Chandler Morris, he lights up the scoreboard, 26 touchdowns. He had 3 versus Tulane, 3 versus Memphis, 445 and 449. This kid's put up 6 touchdowns and almost 900 yards against 2 pretty good squads. Now, Army, on the other hand, this team's 8-0. It's a great story, but Cupcake Central. 7 FBS opponents, all averaging less than 5.5 yards a play. Florida Atlantic, Rice, Temple, Tulsa, UAB, ECU, Air Force. ECU is the best offense they've played, 67th, 5.5 yards a carry, 5.5 yards a play. So it's an average of 4.9 yards a play. Their opponents. This team really hasn't faced anything like North Texas' offense, who's averaging 7 yards a play and 7.7 yards a play at home. They're putting up 527 yards a game the last few games. So I think this over, especially if Daly plays, is a lock. And I really like North Texas probably to get the outright upset, especially if Daly doesn't play. So you got to kind of watch it. There's movement on both ends of the spectrum. The spread down from 6 to 4, the total up from 63.5 now to 64.5. I think it could be a shootout type of game, but I like the fact that Army hasn't really faced anyone of any sort of offense, and North Texas can really score the ball. So I like North Texas, and I like the over.
All right, both plays, though, double play on the North Texas and the over. All right, prime time tomorrow night, Alabama and LSU. It's down to 2.5 now at our local shop, the Queen here in Baton Rouge, the DraftKings outlet. But you're looking at the total, which is 58.5 at the Queen.
Yeah, somehow Bama's defense is top 20 in points allowed at 18.6, but it's a very skewed number. First week of the season, they played Western Kentucky and pitched a shutout. They also pitched a shutout against Missouri, who had injured Brady Cook and were very undermanned. And the other game they played great on defense was when they held Wisconsin to 10 points, but that was after Tyler Van Dyke got hurt. And he at the time was actually 5 for 5 completions. So we have 3 games where the opponents have only combined for 10 points. So let's look at Bama's D against the other 4 SEC teams they played: Georgia, Vandy, South Carolina, Tennessee. Against those 4, they're giving up 30.7 points a game. So big difference. And Bama is a type of offense that even though they like to run the ball more than they pass it, they don't even have a good time of possession. This is a big, high strike, fast, quick strike offense. And if you look at it, overall, they're scoring 37.6 points a game, 30 points a game in those SEC games I just mentioned. And if you look at LSU, their defense is middle of the road. I can see this being a shootout type of game because LSU, on the other hand, like you mentioned, I saw when you leading into the break, you were talking about Nussmeier and how he's out there slinging it too much. They throw the ball 61% of the time, and 3 games through the air. And we've seen in these SEC games that Bama's DBs aren't what they used to be. They're giving up a lot more passing yards than usual. So if you look at the splits in the SEC games, LSU's scoring 30 a game, giving up 27. Bama's scoring 30 a game, giving up 31. I see this has potential for a shootout late at night. And me and you talked earlier that there's potential, too, for Milroe to get a little bit nervous, maybe turnover prone. He doesn't do good in those big environments when the crowd's a little crazy. So I can potentially see a few turnovers and just a shootout type of game. This has all the makings for a real exciting night.
No chance for the crowd to be a little crazy tomorrow night. None at all. Utah, boy, I was with you in Vegas at opening weekend when the Cam Rising on a Thursday night lit up Southern Utah, but then he gets hurt the next game, and we know the deal here. So why Utah +3 at home, 4-4 against 8-0 BYU? Oh, man, you tell me 8-0, 4-4 are going to meet in this game. It's going to be the flip-flop. Utah would be the 8-0 team. But you got the Utes. It's down to 3, though, Chris. Does that concern you?
No, I still like it. I think this is Utah's Super Bowl. I played it at +4 earlier in the week. The Holy War is back on. Who's Utah going to play at quarterback? Isaac Wilson, Brandon Rose? I really don't think it matters. Enter Micah Bernard. He's off a little bit of a freshening off the bye week. He's going to get back to his first 6 games where he's averaging 6.5 yards a carry. The last 2 weeks, a little subpar for him, only averaging 4 yards a carry. And BYU's run defense has been a little bit susceptible, giving up 147 yards a game. So I really think they're gonna pound Bernard and try to make it a little bit easier on Wilson or Rose, whoever gets the start. Utah defensively has been great all year, 11th in the country, 16.5 points per game. Even in their losses at home, they gave up 13 and 23. Somehow Arizona scored 23 points at Utah. That's one of the mysteries of the season. But I think the defense will be strong. I really feel like this is, like I mentioned, the Super Bowl for them. They'd like nothing more than to knock off their arch rival. The Holy War has been off for a few years when Utah was in the Pac-12. So everything's back to reality. We're going to have a great late night kick too, an 8:15 local time kick. And, Utah's uncharacteristically 2-2 at home. I think this changes. I think they ruined BYU season. I'm on Utah. And if I was going to play it, I would play it under 2. I don't see where the points come from in this game. It could just be a grinded out, slow type of game. Whittingham's going to try to make the possessions less and less, so Wilson doesn't do anything crazy and turn the ball over. Grinded out, run style type of game. I like Utah plus the points.
All right, let's get to Miami. They've had their scares. Is this another one here? And where they go to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. And with Georgia Tech, the big thing is here whether or not, is Haynes King going to play? What is his status for the game on Saturday?
Yeah, this is another one where it's questionable, or is he going to play? Is he not going to play? That's why I kind of threw in that Utah under as almost like a backup pick if I had one. I really like Georgia Tech if Haynes King plays, and the spread is opened at 11.5. It's down to 10.5 now, so maybe that's leaning that he is going to play. I mean, Miami, for as much pomp and circumstance as Cam Ward has, and the offense has been great, their two best wins are Duke and Louisville. In the Louisville game, they could have lost on that controversial scoop and score call that got called back. And the last time they were on the road was that Louisville game. The time before that was the 1-point miracle win at Cal. So now you have another road game and a sleepy early start, noon kick. And I just think this is another one where Miami's defense is not that great to be laying this many points, plus 11, plus 10.5. Anything above 10, I like. I hope Haynes King plays. You got to take a concern on that and make sure you're paying attention. But Miami has just found themselves playing with their food in a lot of games. Even last week with Duke, they're down at halftime. So I think Georgia Tech, if Haynes King plays, is very solid. They'll give them all sorts of trouble, and they should be able to hang with the Canes for a while.
Quarterback availability may be a situation in Denton again. Just since we've been speaking the last 20 minutes or so, North Texas has dropped from +4 to +3 at DraftKings, a local book here at the Queen Casino. And, that's got to be trending more and more maybe to the Army quarterback not playing. I think it's a big deal. You talk about these Army, Navy, and Air Force as well. And they're so quarterback heavy. And listen, they were flat out lucky to cover. Maybe it didn't cover the original line, covered some in games, but that score should have been a lot closer with Air Force last week as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at that same screen, and yeah, it's right down to 3. And another one that just popped up too is I'm not sure if Pavi has been declared out or something, because that South Carolina is now up to 6.5 at Vandy, up from the original 4. Yeah, we got to start looking at Pavi. One thing to go from 3.5 to 5, now it's up to 6.5. So yeah, and that's not a big enough movement if Pavi is out. So we'll look at that. We'll check Lane Kiffin's scouting report. His injury list, huh? He's always that guy. He kind of reminds us every now and then, huh, Charlie, why he doesn't get a big-time job, huh?
He is the best coaching troll I've ever seen. The best.
Well, I don't know if athletic administrators, athletic directors, it really appeals to them.
He probably didn't put it on his resume. It's just one of the under special skills or something like that.
Interesting there, because Pavi was listed as probable on Thursday's injury report. So interesting.
He's been playing kind of a little banged up all year, huh? They haven't lost a game by 6 points all year, and they play tougher teams in South Carolina. So we'll see.
If that gets to 7, I'll be taking Vanderbilt. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Clark Lee's exact quote was, on Diego, it's just wear and tear.
Okay. So, he's playing.
Yeah.
He's playing. Look, that guy, trust me about Diego football. He gonna play through some pain. Diego football. Johnny football is his idol. Chris, good luck to you, man. Hey, give us how was Breeders' Cup, man?
Oh, Breeders' Cup was interesting. Quick story. The group of us, we had guys from New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, all meeting up. There was like 12, 13 of us, and we weren't having much luck at all. We were just couldn't put it together. And then the last race, we used a little team effort. One guy liked the 3, I liked the 8, another guy liked the 9, and it came in 3, 8, 9. The exacta paid 100. The tri paid 500 for $1, and the super paid 10 cents was 900, and we got all our money back on the last race. But it was beautiful. The weather was great. We had some great seats. Chris Barr from Del Mar was very cordial with some of the passes we had for the paddock. So we had a fantastic time, and we'll be looking forward to doing it next year because Breeders' Cup's coming back to Del Mar next year for 2025.
I saw that. Tempting. I tell you, say the least. So you think they'll put the football games in the Monarch for me or at Jimmy O's, huh?
Not 8 of them.
Hey, I'll tell you, you wouldn't have known there was any football at Del Mar. They don't have any of the TVs. Nothing is football during the Breeders' Cup there. You wouldn't even know football was on.
Oh man. All right, yeah. Chris. Good luck to you this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, guys. Talk
all
to you
right,
later.
don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get every time you dial 296-0060. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adria Galata, Michael Platt, our great team over at Legacy Title. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title.
Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris and Edward Jones Investments from Ruffino's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis' original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
If you're a small business owner, you've probably noticed how the big banks like to force you into one-size-fits-all financial service products. At Neighbors Federal Credit Union, we've created a suite of flexible commercial checking accounts designed to fit the specific needs of your local business. And with 9 full-service locations throughout Greater Baton Rouge, we're always just around the corner. We're a local small business looking out for other local small businesses. Learn more about Neighbors commercial checking accounts by visiting neighborsfcu.org. Neighbors Federal Credit Union. We're here for you. Insured by NCUA.
Hit Moss Max and Les Tex during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, 4 cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Custom Colors of Baton Rouge, specializing in body and paint, feature 100% platinum certified technicians, ensuring your car or truck is being worked on by the very best of the best. Custom Colors, located in the Industrial Plex off Segan and Airline.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. If you want to channel your inner Clark Griswold and have the finest looking house on the block this Christmas season, you need Got Lit light installers. This process couldn't be easier. You tell them what you want, they bring their own lights, they install them. If anything happens during the season, they'll fix it. When the season's over, they come take down the lights, haul them away, and store them. All you have to do is enjoy. To get your quote, visit GotLitLights.com. That's GotLitLights.com.
Bow and waterfowl season is open, and Southern Outfitters is your one-stop shop. Fully stocked with decoys, full-service bow repair, and sales. Tree stands, hang-ons, and hunting apparel for the entire family. Visit Southern Outfitters in Zachary and at SouthernOutfittersLA.com.
People ask me all the time, where's a good place to go eat? My lock that never misses? Louisiana Lanyap. I've never had anybody disappointed. The snapper and papillote and the cocodrie are staples. Some of my favorites start off with the marinated crab claws or the oysters lanyap. For an entree, seafood stuffed bell peppers. Got a little kick to them now, so watch out. And blueberry bread pudding for dessert. Nobody has collected more 225 Best of Awards than Louisiana Lanyap. 9990 Perkins Road near Bluebonnet, where you always get a little something extra.
Game got your heart rate up? Know when it's time to see a cardiologist. Every second counts, no matter the playing field. Call Cardiovascular Institute of the South today to stay in the game. Learn more or schedule at cardio.com.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have a question, a problem? Call us. We answer the phone. 225-363-9053.
Looking for a tax deduction? Think about donating your car, boat, or RV to St. Vincent de Paul. Visit svdpvr.org.
ESPN Rewind, brought to you by Tex Morris.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Troy Macker is busy today, but we do have the information from him. 80% spread tickets at Bet Rivers. There are 10 of them. 10 of them. Marshall is one of them. I will kind of go in order here. Oklahoma playing against a banged-up Missouri team.
It's a real question mark about Noel and Cook tomorrow. They're being real coy about whether they're going to play or not.
Last time I saw Cook play, he was extremely ineffective.
Yeah, they took him out. They had to leave the game.
Yeah, so BYU against Utah. Makes sense there. That's a pros versus Joes game in that one. Georgia, 85% of the tickets at Ole Miss. I like that. Army, regardless of whether the quarterback plays or not, 85% of the tickets. That game was much closer than the 17-point spread when he did not play. Air Force was in that game. If Air Force wasn't so bad on offense this year, they would have had a real shot to pull off the upset. Pitt at home, trying to bounce back from their first loss of the season. They're at 87%. Western Kentucky, 93%. UTEP, 92%. James Madison, 92%. And another one right at around 90%. Clemson Tigers in Blacksburg against Virginia. Virginia Tech's quarterback will be healthy for that one. And there's Max. What game is Paul Stone talking about here?
I'm pretty sure it's the game we were just talking about. Clemson, Virginia Tech.
Clemson, Virginia Tech.
No, I might be wrong.
I don't think
he did discuss that game.
Well,
he actually picks Vanderbilt here.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Carolina.
This was our double barrel up pick on the podcast. Sports Better's Paradise YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. You get them. Picks are free. Whether you want picks, analysis, or just angles on the game. So if you're looking for straight up picks or helping shape up your handicapping, we do a lot of the research for you. Check it out. Sports Better's Paradise YouTube channel. Here's Paul Stone talking about that Vanderbilt, South Carolina game.
You're listening to Sports Better's Paradise on the Bet Rivers Network.
Yeah, hopefully those Commodore fans are energized there in Nashville. I know they hadn't had much to cheer about over the last decade or so, but, led by Diego Pavia and their fourth-year head coach, Clark Lee, Vanderbilt has inarguably been one of the feel-good stories in all of college football this year. This was a team that was 3-38 straight up in SEC play in their previous 5 seasons. They've already attained bowl eligibility this year and could finish with their first winning season since 2013 with one more victory. This home game against South Carolina on Saturday, it marks the 6th game in as many SEC games this year as they've been labeled as the underdog, been the underdog in all 6 SEC games now. They've won 3 of those previous 5 SEC games outright, defeated then top-ranked Alabama 40-35 as a 23-point home underdog. Of course, they defeated Kentucky in Lexington 20-13 as a 12.5-point underdog. And then this last week defeated Auburn in Auburn 17-7 as a 7.5-point underdog. You look at Pavia, he's a guy that out of Albuquerque didn't have many offers, started his career at the junior college level at New Mexico Military Institute. But this guy's, the numbers, the statistics might not be as gaudy as some quarterbacks, especially the teams that throw the ball a lot, but he's just a winner. He's just a bulldog of a competitor, and he has really thrived. I know we've talked about it on the podcast, and it's been talked about throughout the college football media. But this guy is now, if you count last year when he was quarterback at New Mexico State, 11-2-1 as the betting underdog, 9 outright victories. So 11-2-1 when Cass is the underdog, 9 outright victories the last 2 years as the underdog. South Carolina, as you mentioned, coming off that huge victory over Texas A&M at home there in Columbia. They were on the other side of that last week. A&M was coming off the big victory at home over LSU. A&M comes in a little bit limp. Now South Carolina defeats A&M in big fashion. They storm the field, and now they've got to go to Nashville and maybe play a Vanderbilt team that'll have a little more spark than the Gamecocks. The Gamecocks are playing well, no question about it. But sometimes I think in sports betting, you just got to ride the hot hand. And the Commodores are hot. Diego Pavia keeps delivering the money. I'll take the Commodores, Vanderbilt plus 3.5.
All right, so Paul Stone, and again, that line is on the move this morning. It went from 5.5 since we've been on the air at 11 o'clock. Well, since I've been on the air since 11 o'clock, it's going to 6.5 now. So our buddy Chris Rosero just saying, and again, according to Clark Lee, Vanderbilt head coach, it's just a matter of a little wear and tear. Okay, so this is something where a service has released South Carolina as one of their picks, and they know that they're going to get hit with it, and they're moving it. It's kind of they probably may have started taking a couple of the bets, but around on Fridays is when some of the college releases are. Bruce might be able to find that out for us. I'll ask. He's usually pretty good dialed in on what kind of services do that as well.
I imagine there's quite a bit of wear and tear on Pavia. He doesn't. He plays about as physical a game as a quarterback.
And he's little,
and he's not big.
Right? No. Yeah, I mean the first play from scrimmage this season, they got a turnover against Vandy. I mean, he hits that corner, Charlie, running that option. Well, it's kind of a quarterback keeper, but I mean, he is running behind his pads. And that's one of the difference between him and Manziel. Manziel rarely took hits because he had so much shake that it was hard to. But this guy, man, he's playing in the SEC. He was playing with a purpose, and it's going to take its toll.
Yeah, I want to ask you about one other angle. If you got any thoughts about this, we play against the field rush fade all the time. Okay, we're pretty documented.
Hasn't been great this year though,
right? Your undefeated season goes kaplooey. We got 3 situations there. Penn State, Pitt, and Iowa State all lost their undefeated status last week. The bounce back after you lose your first game this deep in the season. Anything to it?
Well, no, because Penn State, and I said this before the season started, they weren't going to be. I mean, everybody's put so much emphasis on the Ohio State game. That's not where they're going to make or miss the playoff. It's the other games, the rest of the season. It's this game this week. It's next week at Minnesota, who is hot lately. Where they sit 6-3, or maybe 6-2 right now. That's when it. So, and if there's still a 14 playoff, I'd be worried about Penn State. I think Penn State's more in their comfort zone. Charlie, I'm drawing a blank. Who they playing again?
Washington.
Washington's 3-0 in conference play at home, 0-3 on the road, and 3-0 against the spread, also at home, 0-3. With Indiana, the Rutgers game on Friday night where they shot themselves in the foot, but still they did it, and then they got blown out by Iowa. Penn State's better than those teams significantly.
I
didn't know they were like 7th in the league with most NFL players right now. I thought it was going to be about 11 to 15. We discussed that off the air.
They're going to have another top 5 pick this year with Abdul Carter. All 3 unplay teams can beat them. Washington on the right day can beat Penn State.
Yeah.
Iowa State is playing.
They're going to Kansas.
Kansas, that's right.
Kansas, we talked about that. That seems to be, humans, and I like it. It's not one of my 5-pack, but Kansas has played better.
And Pitt's got Virginia, who's scrappy. I mean, they're not better, but they're scrappy.
Virginia is better than they have been.
Yeah, on the right day. So none of them are going into a complete layup this week.
I would think Virginia is the weakest of that crew. I think
they lost 3 straight.
I think Pitt is the weakest of. I don't know. Pitt and Iowa State are kind of the same. I think Penn State's head and shoulders above those teams.
Yes, I agree.
And here's the thing about Washington. Who they beat last week? They beat USC. What's happening at USC? They're benching a quarterback because Miller Moss threw 3 interceptions in the game against Washington, and they win by 1 score. So, there was a little bit. Fish is doing a great job, but man, They're just very average. I mean, if Penn State takes care of business, and we don't know this, if it's position, if he can, if he can take a knee and win by 10 or punch it in to win by 17, you know what he's going to do.
Bully ball.
I mean, he will not just take a knee when it's just on the spread or not. So and like we said, there's no team in the country that benefits more from them going from a 4 to a 12 team playoff. The last 10 years, Penn State would be in the playoff 6 of the 10. And we just think they can't win. Now, can they do anything in the playoff until they improve against the elite teams in the country, like Ohio State and Michigan, which they never beat? And remember the one time they beat Ohio State, they're like 1-10 or whatever. It was whiteout at Happy Valley. They had a block, scoop, and score on a field goal attempt by Ohio State to win the game. So it's taken a lot for them to get over there. But Ohio State's beaten a lot of teams over that course of
Did
time.
they go 11-1 and get a home game? I'm trying to think who a likely opponent would be. It might be
say like a Tennessee.
Yeah, it'd be probably
Alabama,
the
LSU.
third or fourth team out of the SEC. Could be LSU.
Yeah. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Golden Meadow to Baton Rouge, including the newest at Burbank and Bluebonnet. United Community Bank is serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Prentice Wilkes, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, Dave Campbell, or David Henry. See how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member to FDIC, equal housing lender.
Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris and Edward Jones Investments from Ruffino's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Please consider making a donation locally through St. Vincent de Paul that truly helps people in need. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, clothing, housewares, or furniture you no longer use, please consider donating it to St. Vincent de Paul. This donation could get you a tax deduction. Visit svdpbr.org.
Your Fighting Tigers of LSU host the Alabama Crimson Tide Saturday. It all gets started with Eagle 98.1 Game Day with Charles Hanagriff and Matt Musso at 1:30 p.m. live from Rouse's on Burbank, and wraps up with Eagle 98.1 Game Day post-game 90 minutes after the end of the game. It's presented by Super Chevy, your local Super Chevy dealers, and you can hear it on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your flagship home for the Tigers, Eagle 98.1.
Juggling work and family can be tough, especially while trying to find your perfect home. Hey, it's Antonio Cousin with Service First Real Estate, and we're here to help you find the right home that fits your lifestyle and budget. Look us up online, Service First Real Estate, the team that values relationships over transactions.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Previous hailstorms have caused hidden damage to countless Baton Rouge homes. Rice and Roofing spots the damage, makes the claim, and replaces your roof. You pay only your insurance deductible. Never anything more. Call Rice and Roofing today and schedule your free inspection. 330-3513. RiceandRoofing.com.
Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers. Hey, it's Matt Moscona. If you missed the show, you can always check it out on demand at 1045ESPN.com, the 1045 ESPN app, or the After Further Review YouTube channel. AFR On Demand, brought to you by Breck Golf. Book your tee time today at golf.breck.org.
Electric Man of Baton Rouge is here to help with 24/7 residential and commercial electrical services. With years of experience, Electric Man aims to deliver fast and dedicated electrical services without compromising safety, quality, and integrity. Licensed and insured professionals to do the job for you worry-free. Electric Man offers guaranteed appointment times and free estimates, offering veteran and senior discounts also. Find Electric Man at electricmanbatonrouge.com to schedule your guaranteed appointment time. electricmanbatonrouge.com, 225-800-7065.
In Louisiana, it's not if you're going to need a home standby generator, the question is when. Optimized Generator People are Louisiana's largest and best full-service Generac dealership with 4 locations covering all of South Louisiana from Lake Charles to Slidell. And they only do one thing: home standby Generac generators. Prepare now so you can stop worrying about not having emergency power when you need it. It's optimized. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
121-126-74. Offices in Baton Rouge.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Note on the pro circuit: Trevor Lawrence out against the Vikings for Jacksonville.
Who's
on
playing?
Sunday. Mac Jones,
COVID champion.
They did win it that year, right?
Oh yeah.
I told you for everything that happened after January that year.
But it's Alabama week, right? That is right up your alley because that was such a bogus title.
It was.
I mean, my favorite is Georgia week.
You know,
Saban's got Saban on Monday. He's got COVID. He's cleared on Friday.
Right.
But he sat out the Missouri game.
It's almost like, not that I want to revisit anything from that year, like I said, that happened after January, but it was almost like you had to call up 6 or 8 guys from the JV for a high school game to play in the varsity against somebody else's varsity. Whoever they played, had to call up 6 guys from the JV.
0 players didn't miss. They didn't miss 1 player for 1 game due to COVID.
Doctors over there just phenomenal.
Fauci's in the wrong place. Need to get down to Tuscaloosa, baby.
Bruce Marshall, when we come back, hour number 3, straight ahead here. Lock of the Week Friday at Ruffino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
This is Charles Hanagriff for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
It's the Winning Wonderland giveaway, only at Beau Rivage. Now through January 1st, play for your chance to win something on everyone's wish list. $250,000 in prizes, including a 2025 Porsche. Drawings November 30th and January 1st. 2 times drawing entries every Monday through Wednesday. Don't just wish this Christmas, win at the Winning Wonderland $250,000 giveaway, only at Beau Rivage. Color, make, model may vary. Sam Jim Awards Desk for details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of time, the most luxurious gift of all, courtesy of the concierge services at Genesis of Baton Rouge. With so much to do, let our valet service bring the test drive to your door. Need maintenance? We'll pick up your vehicle and return it when the job's done. No hassle, no wasted time, just seamless luxury. Visit genesisofbatonrouge.com and enjoy the holidays on your schedule. Luxury awaits. Genesis of Baton Rouge on Airline across from Woman's Hospital and genesisofbatonrouge.com.
Looking for some time away but don't want to go too far? The Cook Hotel at LSU is just what you've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a peaceful escape overlooking the University Lake in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suites. Their newly renovated bar is back open for service, and they're located near some of the best restaurants in town. Visit thecookhotel.com or call 225-383-2665 to book your stay today.
Majestic Metals is located in Sorrento with over 60 years experience in the pre-engineered metal building industry. Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient. Call Majestic Metals at 225-675-3800 and talk to our knowledgeable sales staff for all your commercial and residential needs. Visit us on the web at majesticmetalsinc.com.
Looking for a better life? ITI College in Baton Rouge has been transforming lives for over 50 years. Voted among the top 5 best trade schools in Baton Rouge and ranked top 10 in the nation for ROI by Georgetown University. ITI offers flexible class schedules, hands-on learning, and a family atmosphere. Financial aid is available for those who qualify, including federal and state programs, grants, loans, and veterans assistance. Classes start November 13th. Call 225-267-8003. ITI Technical College for a better life. 225-267-8003.
At Curbside, great burgers aren't just what we do, it's who we are. Catch the big game in our newly renovated backyard with over a dozen TVs. Enjoy ice-cold buckets of beer, craft frozens, and boozy milkshakes. Curbside has something for everyone. Visit Curbside today.
Hey, this is Blake Hollingsworth, Hollingsworth Richards Ford. In the month of October, we got some great deals going on. 2024 Expedition, we got $10,000 off, or you can get $5,000 off and 2.9% interest. On 2024 F-150 XLT, we've got $11,000 off, and that's with trade assistance through Ford Motor Credit. And then the last one, we haven't seen this one in a long time, 2024 Super Duty, we're doing $5,000 off. Come in and take advantage of it or visit us online at HollingsworthRichardsFord.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, as we continue over here at Ruffino's, don't forget this Sunday, Football Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon, we'll be at the Queen Casino, the DraftKings Sportsbook. So come on and see us there, and they're open all weekend long. Again, open up about 9 a.m. The kiosks, which are like 24 kiosks over at the Queen, they're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So looking forward to going hunker down tomorrow over at the Queen Casino, and then Sunday for Football Sunday. Don't forget here at Ruffino's, our appetizer features tonight and this weekend, the crab cakes and the crispy Brussels sprouts. Entree features are the Ora King salmon, excuse me, and the blackened prime rib. Dessert feature, cookies and cream cannolis, and the beverage features a Yule fashion or an affogato cocktail. So let's bring in Bruce Marshall. Bruce Marshall, former the Gold Sheet. He's been with all kinds of places. He's been with us forever and ever as well. Hey, Bruce, South Carolina has gone from 3.5 to 6.5 this morning. Do you know what service had released that? Because Clark Lee's talking about Diego Pavia, and Diego football, he is, well, he says he's just playing through some wear and tear. I mean, he'll be just fine. You privy to who released South Carolina?
I am not, but I have noticed that as well. So something's going on there. I mean, Pavia's numbers have been a little bit down in recent weeks, but he's tough. I mean, he reminds me of one of those. He's like Bobby Chacon. Remember him, the fighter? I mean, he just keeps coming back for more and more. So I'm assuming he's going to be in there, but I'm a little bit surprised by that move too.
Yeah, the
world keeps waiting for Vandy to run out of gas, right?
And they're still fighting the Vandy. I mean, they're still Vandy, and they were been so weak for so long that, I mean, tell me a situation like this, Bruce. Kansas, 2007. I mean, a little bit of them. I mean, maybe Indiana this year. I mean, to me, that's, I mean, you can't get much better than that. But Vanderbilt is now getting more points at home than they've lost all year. I mean, they're 4-3 in the league. I'm sorry, is it 4-2, 5-2?
I think they're 3-2.
3-2 with 3 to go. I'm sorry, 3-2 with 3 to go. And the 2 that they lost were to Texas
and Alabama.
And no, they won.
They beat Alabama to
and
Mizzou in Columbia,
which was in overtime, wasn't it?
It was in overtime.
Yeah.
They missed the field goal. So
see, even I did it. I just automatically said, "Well, they lost to Alabama." No, they didn't. They beat
the Alabama State champs, Charlie.
Yeah, that's right.
Alabama State champs.
Well, yeah, all of that's true, Jimmy. I and those examples, like, Kansas, they just kept winning. And so Vandy's been punching above its weight. Now, I was wrong last week, and we talked about the Auburn game, and we knew some other people who had liked Auburn too last week, and it just didn't work. Vandy keeps doing it. In Vandy parlance, I mean, the last time now this is even a little better than they did in 08, that year Bobby Johnson was still there. And they started off fast, and then they sort of faded late. One other note, this series, 08 is the last time South Carolina lost to Vanderbilt. And last year, Shane Beamer really ran this score up 47-6. So series history too, something to do with it. But to this point, you're right. I mean, Vandy hasn't slowed down yet. So we'll see what happens tomorrow in Music City.
How do you see that game?
I lean South. Maybe I'll be right this week. I do sort of ascribe to that. Vandy's going to run out of gas at some point, just because Pavia has taken a beating this year. And even if he's staying in there, I mean, Chacon lost some fights too later in his career. I mean, you can't just keep getting beaten up like that. Part of it was Auburn's inefficiency last week. South Carolina, a little bit different animal. Although, Sellers can be a bit up and down, but you worry about them a little let down after all that emotion last Saturday night against A&M. But this defensive front for South Carolina is really nasty. And I think the thought is they may, keep Pavia in check and some of the big plays he's been able to make. And as long as Sellers doesn't make mistakes, South Carolina is really good. I mean, look at their schedule here. I mean, they are really close themselves to being, 7-1, 8-1 now. I mean, the LSU and the Alabama games they could have won. So this team is really good. So I'm going to lean a little bit to South Carolina. I am not as interested at 6.5 as I was at 3.5, though. I'll tell you that.
I got you. All right, LSU and Alabama is going from 3 to 2.5. Bama on the road here.
Jimmy, sometimes, and Charlie, we talk about all the trends and things, and we get involved in all different angles and trends and analytics. And sometimes it's the most basic trends and the basic team characteristics that we should be looking at here. And sometimes it just basically comes down to home and road. And this year, Bama has had its problems on the road, and LSU has not lost yet at home. Sometimes it just comes down to that. And I am thinking now, Nussmeier's he's been a little, sloppy here at times. He's 7 picks the last 4 games. But I'll say this, going into, the A&M game 2 weeks ago, I thought LSU was playing as good as anybody in the country. I mean, that comeback against Ole Miss was dramatic. I thought Nussmeier really grew up in that game. They were just superb against Arkansas, totally dominating Arkansas like that. And then sort of unraveled in the second half against A&M. But back here in Baton Rouge, where LSU has not lost, I think they've got a shot to win this game like they did 2 years ago in that thriller with Jaden Daniels in overtime. Milroe has not been making quite as many big plays this year. I think it's partly because the running game has been not quite as good. Jam Miller doesn't have those sort of Alabama rushing numbers that we've seen in the past. And the defense has sprung leaks far too often this year for Alabama. They've allowed teams to go on extended marches, which you rarely saw when Nick Saban was there. So, but it boils down to me. This game's in Baton Rouge. I think that's going to be the difference. I think LSU is going to win this game. It might go over, but I'm taking the Tigers tomorrow night.
Max, you were at the Ole Miss game, right?
I was.
You're at the UCLA game, right?
It's a little different. If that's what you're getting at. Very different.
Home, Bruce. You guys forever. We missed the point spread value sheet, and part of it was HFV, home field value. And traditionally, you guys had, when LSU was, a solid, say like top 15. Okay, you put it at a 5, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That, Max, is that the same effect on the game? The Ole Miss crowd and the UCLA crowd?
UCLA's biggest thing was they had to go travel. That's as much as it was. The crowd noise would not have been a factor.
I mean, it's in all due respect, Bruce. I mean, and that's probably an average, but it is less for UCLA. It is not an intimidating place to play in the afternoon against a weaker opponent. Fans aren't into it. Okay, at night against a top 10 opponent, it's short. And I mean, I'm sorry, but you know they're the runts. Ole Miss is the runts. Sorry, Brett Norsworthy, that's our boy. But you know, Mincy, you know he's talking to himself after a couple of losses this year.
I'm just disappointed.
They're. I mean, that took every bit of that crowd to get LSU past Ole Miss in that game.
Only thing got to the UCLA was the heat. The crowd got to Ole Miss.
The crowd melted against UCLA.
Well, but it's been very average for. I mean, you name the team. I mean, okay, when Vanderbilt comes in, and Vanderbilt's got their best team in maybe in history, the crowd's not going to be juiced up for that game. No. It's not. I mean, it's with the more money that it's become a little bit fair weather. I mean, sorry, 79. That son of a gun was fired up every damn Saturday night. No matter if Lee Corso brought his team in the late 70s, in Indiana, a nondescript Indiana team, or USC and John Robinson. I mean, but it's got to be the checks. And when it's at night, it's a big time game, and the weather's good, baby. There's no place better. And I mean, look, you get that spark. All your home team needs to do is get a spark to get that crowd going. And if you think they were impactful on the Ole Miss game, they only want to beat Alabama worse. Charlie,
no argument. No argument either. And they'll probably get the ball first.
Why is that?
Because Kelly takes the ball and everybody else in the world defers. So you're going to get the ball first.
Yeah. Okay.
So go
but is that an advantage?
No, you say a spark. Go down and score first. That's a spark. Go ahead.
Alabama tied for 6th most penalties per game. That could be a problem when you.
Another instance where the substitute teacher is in, and that's where they. And we'll see. It's hard. I mean, they were more disciplined against Missouri, but Missouri is playing with one hand tied behind their back with a 40% cook in Pine, who's terrible. I mean, no, that's not a real. Bruce, who else you looking at in college football this week?
Yeah, let's go a few. Even tonight, you mentioned UCLA a second ago. They're not playing that bad right now, and they started to get the running game going a little bit last week at Nebraska. Ethan Garbers has put up some really good numbers at quarterback in recent weeks. The defense really swarms. They're playing hard for Deshaun Foster.
Yes.
I had totally written this team off earlier in the year. If you bet the Minnesota game 4 weeks ago, early enough that week, like before Friday, when the number was like 5, UCLA would be looking at a 6-game point spread cover streak into this week. So they're overachieving. Iowa is another one of these home roads. I mean, I looked at the Michigan State game a few weeks ago on the road. What happened there? They're not the same team away from Iowa City, I don't think. One other note in this game, though. Iowa has only gone under once this season. Once? After 21-6 under the last 2 years. That's just what happens when they get rid of Brian Ferentz as the offensive coordinator. And Caleb Johnson's putting up some huge numbers running. So I could see an over here in maybe UCLA tonight. 2 others tomorrow.
Wait. First, Max, I got to bring this into Bruce picking UCLA. Max, this is what we call homerism. Okay, I mean, you just cannot break away from your roots.
Lakers, Dodgers.
I mean, Lakers, Dodgers, UCLA, and I mean, you love LA, huh, Brucey?
Well, you know what? I remember UCLA playing these Big Ten teams. Quick history notes. They played Iowa in the early 70s, and Iowa's 0-11 in 73, and Pepper Rogers blew them out of the Coliseum. They went back to Iowa City the next year. Vermeil came into UCLA. Iowa brought in a new coach, Bob Cummings, with an O, and he had played at Iowa for Forrest Evashevsky alongside Alex Karras on the line, 159-pound defensive tackle, and he came straight from Massillon High to Iowa. Just Jerry Faust moved from Moeller to Notre Dame, but Cummings did this 7 years before. They beat UCLA in a 12-game losing streak. Now they never quite reach that again, but that's a little Iowa UCLA history. Anyway, so much for that.
Look like Webster next to Alex Karras for Charlie.
Ma'am and George.
Can you imagine 159-pound defensive tackle? Wow, that was something. Okay, 2 tomorrow. Down in the desert, Arizona State is hosting UCF. Interesting game. Now, Scadaboo one of my favorite backs in the country. Not sure about his status tomorrow for Arizona State, but Kenny Dillingham apparently very high on his other running backs. He thinks they can step in if they need to. Sam Levitt, their quarterback, did come back last week, and they routed Oklahoma State in Stillwater. We're all talking about Deion in the Big 12 for good reason. He's done very well. Kenny Dillingham is doing just as good a job at Arizona State. They've not lost at home, and it's a short price tomorrow. I think the price has dropped a little because of Scadaboo and his status. Malzahn, you talk about running quarterbacks. I mean, bench KJ Jefferson last month. He started, I think, 4 different quarterbacks the last month. He keeps running. As soon as one of the quarterbacks throws some picks, he's out of there. Rizek played well last week, but Arizona is really collapsing right now. They are too erratic for me. I'm going to take ASU down there in Tempe tomorrow at a short price. One more. We talked about Florida State last week. We're running out of chances, boys, to go against Florida State.
Yes.
I'm not going to bypass it. Notre Dame this week. Interesting prop on this game. Florida State's scoring number is 7.5 this week. I would almost bet that under, and I would lay the 26 with Notre Dame. Look at Florida State's stats this year offensively. They are down there with Kent State and Air Force at the very bottom. Total offense, scoring offense, rushing offense. I don't know how this got so bad. I mean, they say the portal ads that Norvell brought in on the line. It's not just DJU, and he's been out for a month now anyway, but everything else has fallen completely apart for this team. Just look at Notre Dame, by the way. Marcus Freeman covers these numbers. I mean, he's 15-5 against the spread since last year. This is going to be not a peacock game. This is a big NBC game at night. Notre Dame a chance to impress the pollsters a bit more. They keep winning. They're going to be in the 12, and I don't know that Florida State scores. I'm going to lay the 26 with Notre Dame. And as a side prop for kicks, under 7.5 points for Florida State. They don't get on the board unless Notre Dame gives them a score. I really don't think the Noles are going to get off a 0 tomorrow.
You think the committee, now they put this thing and then Notre Dame sees exactly where they are and that maybe tightens their focus a little bit? No, they can't afford to slip up. I mean, you know, they were bigger favorites against Northern Illinois.
You know, I don't know how they're feeling, but to me, just me, there is no difference in Notre Dame beating Florida State 21 points or 41 points. They're going to take control of this game early. They're going to dominate it. And the difference between, let's say, 35-6, Bruce, so I can keep you under your 7, or 55-7 is not much.
Hey, Bruce, Northern Illinois and Florida State on the neutral. What would that spread be? And keep in mind, Northern Illinois is now 2-3 in the MAC.
Yeah, they did win the other night. They lost a couple of close games.
Yeah.
Northern Illinois would be favored in that game. Florida State would be. I mean, they are horrific. They are absolutely horrific. And by the way, you know, Notre Dame, as Charlie said, is true. Except under Marcus, they have shown a real killer instinct too. I mean, they've run out some scores. Navy the other couple of weeks ago. You know, look what they did. They get Army next week, by the way. Which who would have thought Army would be a bigger game for Notre Dame than Florida State this year?
Yeah, and Bruce, I'm not saying that they're not going to do it. I don't know what the difference is between a 5-touchdown win and a 7-touchdown win.
I'm just thinking that I think it. If you're looking to lay it, I mean, I think a little bit more focus and killer instinct by Notre Dame for multiple reasons. Like I said, they can't screw around, and the reason that they're not in the top 3 is because a team they were 4-touchdown favorites. They get slipped up against.
In Florida State, what happens when you build a baseball team with nothing but free agents and you have no farm system?
I said this reminds me of the Michigan State, but of course it won't be that bad. Being transfer portal heavy. Well, it's worse.
It's worse.
It's worse. Their one win against Cal, they were dominated in the box score. Bruce, off the beaten path, give me some small conference picks here.
How about Western Kentucky tomorrow? It's about 18.5 at New Mexico State. New Mexico State's horrible. I mean, this is what happens when Jerry Kill retires and you're replaced with Tony Sanchez and Pavia leaves. I mean, they are really bad. But look at Western Kentucky. Tyson Helton, he's in Jimmy Sexton's stable. And I hear Jimmy's got him cooling his jets in the bullpen, looking for the right spot for him. He is a better coach than his brother, and he's done it with a few different styles of teams, but they've been very aggressive offensively the last couple of years. Veldkamp, who came in the bowl game last year and led the Toppers to a comeback win over ODU, has put up some really good numbers since coming in for Finley early in the season when Finley got hurt. And Tyson Helton, listen, I was doing the show with Matt Humans last night. He keeps thinking Purdue's job is going to open, and he's wondering if Purdue would give Helton a call. Possible. I mean, Jimmy Sexton likes him. He's going to move on from Western Kentucky, but more immediate, they will handle this number tomorrow against New Mexico State. So that's one. And one late tomorrow night. I mean, Hawaii might be worth a look against UNLV. They're playing much better. By the way, Matt Humans is going to be there. And you're getting almost 2 touchdowns in Honolulu. This is a live dog now, and UNLV is not covering numbers every week like it was earlier for Barry Odom. Defense playing better for Hawaii. They didn't do a bad job against Boise a few weeks ago. I think that near 2 TDs too much to give the Rainbow Warriors over there in Honolulu.
Matt Humans, you only got it surfs out in Hawaii with the fast food burger in his hand. So, gotta love him. Brucey, great job as always, man. We appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck to you this weekend.
Have fun, boys. Thanks.
Don't forget Lofton Staffing Services. We match hard workers with the most sought-after employers. To Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we'll match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application. You can schedule an interview. You can even browse jobs at lofton.jobs. Lofton also offers an unlimited $100 referral bonus. Lofton Staffing Services, we've been putting people to work since 1979. 924-0200 and lofton.jobs.
Live at lunch here from Ruffino's Log of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris, Edward Jones Investments on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Thibodaux store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. Don't tell you about some of the specialty services they have at the Thibodaux store, like key cutting, like propane refills, like screen and glass repair. And you know what? They're getting ready for the holidays because they've got a big Black Friday sale. Get your Christmas decorations. You don't think about buying your Christmas decorations at a hardware store. Do it at the Thibodaux store. Lots of Christmas decorations are there. Outdoor power equipment, tool storage units, just storage containers, blinds, insulation and house wrap, patio furniture, maybe a little bit out of season. There's some deals to be made there. And of course, all your outdoor cooking equipment, tons of selections on grills and big green egg cookers. So you're looking for things for the holidays, they've got them at the Thibodaux store. ThibodauxStore.com will get you to their webpage where you can have delivery arranged and especially cookware, Cajun cooking, specialty cookware shipped right to your door. Sister's property is the Pierre Part store, which has been in business for 113 years as of a couple of weeks ago down in Pierre Part. So this holiday season, home improvement, and a whole lot more at the Thibodaux store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, and online, ThibodauxStore.com.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Sound Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Sound Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Struggling to lose weight? Feeling overwhelmed by diets and exercise plans that just don't work? There's a better way. Unique Physique offers weight loss injectable medications. Semaglutide, now only $195 a month, and Tirzepatide is only $325 a month. The lowest prices in town. No contracts, no gimmicks, just real results without the hassle. Visit uniquephysique.com or call today to schedule a consultation and unlock your weight loss potential. Unique Physique, your weight loss solution.
Sparked by imagination, creativity is fueled by the arts. Shell's mission is to make communities where we do business better places to live. By supporting the arts up and down the river, Shell is helping creativity thrive. From the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival to the Arts Council of Greater Baton Rouge and the LaFon Performing Arts Center in St. Charles Parish, Shell is the rhythm of Louisiana.
At Lofton, we're in the business of matching hard workers with some of the most sought-after employers in the Baton Rouge area. To Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we can help match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application, schedule an interview, and even browse jobs by simply going to lofton.jobs. That's Lofton.jobs. We also offer an unlimited $100 referral bonus. At Lofton, we put people to work. Lofton.jobs.
WCK Foundation Repair, locally owned and operated, has been in business over 25 years. Engineers agree WCK uses the best repair method for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. Rely on WCK to provide a solid standard with friendly local professionals. Interest-free financing available. WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK Foundation Repair. WCK, a leader among peers. WCK.
The Queen Baton Rouge is your football headquarters this fall. Catch all the games in over 50 screens at either 1770 Kitchen and Cocktails or the DraftKings Sports Bar. We got $3 drafts and many more drink and food specials. Visit thequeenbr.com for more details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have you voted yet? Vote for Trash Rangers and we really will take the trash out. Go to trashrangers.com now.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Charles Hanagriff's 5-pack of picks. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Make sure you use Louisiana rice, grown by Louisiana farmers since 1936. Available at most local grocery stores. Supreme Rice.
All right, 3-2 again last week. So clipping right along here, 28-21 and 1 for the season. Let's see if we can look. I'm not going to turn down 3-2, Max.
That record's great.
It's pretty good.
Don't short-side yourself there.
Yeah, like to do a little bit. Like to do a little bit better. The one I liked the most last week was Arkansas. That just was a disaster from jump. But we'll see what we can do here.
Charlie, where are you at now? I'm sorry.
28-21 and 1.
28-21
and 1.
You better than me, Hanny.
Yeah, doing what I can.
Secretariat.
Yeah, don't say that. That's a dirty word right here. All right, here's one. Here's a goofy stat of the day for you guys.
Come on.
One team in the country that I know of has, against FBS competition, lost all their home games and won all their road games.
One team in what now?
Against FBS competition has lost all their home games and won all their road games.
To Power 4? Or
yes. Yeah. It's a goofy stat. I just stumbled upon this yesterday. You're probably not going to guess.
Not Washington, huh?
No. It's Wake Forest. And don't ask me why. They've got a home win against an FCS school. But other than that, they have the road splits and the home splits are completely opposite. So
it's their impactful stadium,
I guess.
35,000.
I don't know.
They can't get a night game.
But, they are playing better. They're coming off back-to-back road wins. They won 3 out of 4. The loss was to Clemson. This is Cal's 4th cross-country trip tonight. This is a Friday night game. Cal's 4th cross-country trip. They lost 4 in a row before they beat Oregon State last week. I just think that they're going to revert back to that form. Give me Wake Forest. I thought I was getting 7.5 here.
7.
I'm going to 7 against Cal tonight. Wake Forest is the play. I'm going to take Vandy. I wrote this down 4 days ago. So unless Diego Pavia has been ruled out, which he has not, I'm sticking with Vandy. I'm getting more points than I thought I would. South Carolina coming off the big win. We've done this a whole bunch. Keep waiting for Vandy to run out of gas. If they do, nobody's beating them by 7 points. Not Texas, not Alabama, not Missouri. Give me Vandy plus the 6.5. Like Max says, if I'm on the square side and I lose, but I'm taking them. I'm also I'm going with a couple of teams that have some injury concerns, but I'm going with them because I just think they're the better teams. Start with Arizona State. Bruce gave you a rundown. I thought I had this one all to myself, but I'll take them minus 2.5. They're undefeated at home. I love Scatterboo, but they have run the ball pretty well. They're a top 3 run offense and defense. Both of these teams are in the Big 12, which is surprising. But last week, Arizona State threw it for 300 as well in Stillwater. Arizona State's 2 losses were tricky spots. It was a tricky morning spot at Cincinnati, and it was coming off the win against Utah. The other one was back-to-back road games. The second one was at Texas Tech. They were competitive in both of those games. Rob Dillingham may not win Coach of the Year, but he has done a great job. UCF's only win since September was last week, against an absolutely awful Arizona team who's had a terrible year. Cross-country trip, small number. Give me Arizona State. And I'm going to take Missouri plus
minus
2.5.
2.5 Arizona State, right?
Yeah, Arizona State minus 2.5. And I'm going to take Missouri plus 2.5 at home against Oklahoma. I don't know if they're going to get Brady Cook back. I don't know if he'll be compromised. I don't know about Nate Noel as well. But I know about Oklahoma, and I know that they stink. I know that they were competitive a little bit in the first half against Ole Miss, but this is not a team that needs to be favored on the road in a conference game. So if I get anything out of those two, I think I'll win the game. I think Missouri wins the game even if they don't, honestly. So give me the Tigers plus 2.5. And give me the other Tigers plus 2.5. LSU at home against Alabama. Brian Kelly's lost one game at home in 2 2/3 seasons, none of them at night. Alabama's lost both of their conference road games. Guessing LSU's going to prepare a little bit for the quarterback run game this time. Call it a hunch. Jalen Milroe won this game for Alabama last year. This year, 6 interceptions, 6 lost fumbles, only 107 rush yards in his last 4 games. I think this is the best passing quarterback Alabama has faced, including Carson Beck. Carson Beck threw for 439 yards against Alabama, and that was in Tuscaloosa. They lost because he threw 3 picks. I'm guessing Nussmeier won't do that at home. This game was in Tuscaloosa. I'd pick Alabama. The game's in Baton Rouge. I'll pick LSU. Plus the 2.5 against
Omar or Mike's?
Neither, man. Leave the Tigers alone.
Omar's coming. Omar's
coming. Now, I do not think it's wise to bring him out on a leash to midfield, though. Max
heard that was a possibility.
No, even in my limited animal knowledge, Charles, that probably wouldn't be.
I wouldn't think so.
Hey, what's your thing when we say one of these? What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah,
kind of like my spring break chaperone trip. What can possibly go wrong here?
Yeah,
you know,
it's like when that guy locked himself in Mike the Tiger's cage back in the '80s, and they had to send Jose Vargas in to get him.
Ethan coming into town with 50 friends from Alabama. What can possibly go wrong?
They're
this
staying
weekend,
at your house, Dad. Yeah,
I don't know if I got 0 or 50, dude.
Right.
He was getting in 6 o'clock last night. Last I checked, he's still in Tuscaloosa. So
Omar Bradley.
Well, we gave him an earful once the tune-in crew this morning.
He needed it.
Yeah.
Hey, Omar Bradley was a 5-star, though. You know that, Max?
Who's Omar Bradley?
General.
Omar Bradley was General of the Army.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was here's a little trivia. The last 5-star general. Omar Bradley took over for Eisenhower.
Oh. Okay.
Pay attention in history class. I'll do the history. You do the Spanish.
Yes. yes. Didn't take a whole lot of history in college, and no, I did nothing in high school. So
yeah,
they just gave me. Said, "Here, good luck, son."
Omar Bradley, last 5-star General of the Army.
Where's Blackjack?
You got to go back a little bit further.
Okay.
He took over for Eisenhower at end of World War II. He's a 5-star general in the Korean conflict.
Wasn't a whole lot of things to do in Franklin, huh?
Study, man. My IQ doesn't break the bank. I had to study.
Jimmy, I don't know who's got more on the line between you and Ethan or Moscona, and the Bama fans might be after him. Y'all both got a lot of bragging rights on the line here.
Oh, it's the Bama fans can win, and they're still. This transition is a little bit rougher. They're just, and I've heard pretty much everybody. They're just another team. They're going to have close calls. They're going to have these games. They got talent, but I think the biggest thing, and everybody talks about the depth. I think it's more of, I think the better programs still have. Their top 8 players are still, there's no difference there. But that next from the 9 to 14 and 15 to 22, 24, those guys aren't as good. How many guys, like a Duke Riley started like 1 year?
Yeah.
What was the linebacker from that played for the Falcons from Jesuit? I want to say Jones or
Debo Jones.
Debo Jones. 1 year.
Yeah.
So I mean, those guys, you're not keeping those guys, bro. I mean, these are guys with extensive NFL careers. Right. I mean, Congratulations, Curtis. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Jimmy, you're old enough to.
Yes. Kamala Curtis checking in. So there you go.
You're old enough to remember well when Bryant retired and Perkins took over. And Perkins was an Alabama guy, and he went 8.
Now this is a difference between Bear Bryant retiring and say it started to dip a little bit. You know, I mean, he was very old. I mean,
Bryant's record his last year was 8-4, okay?
and which was that's just didn't happen back then.
No,
I mean that'd be like Saban going 8-4,
right?
And that didn't happen.
Bryant's record was 8-4. Perkins' record his first year was 8-4, and they jumped all over his ass.
Oh no! I mean,
so what I'm saying is if he matches. They lost 2 games last year.
And
if they get to the end of the season, they've lost 2 games. They're still going to jump all over his ass.
And they get credit for that COVID. They think you accomplished nothing. That's not real. I mean, the team you play in a national championship game had 16, 17, guys out because of COVID in a national championship game.
Right.
I mean, you can't. Come on, man. I mean, like you said, they played everybody's JV that year.
I will correct. And I'll say this too. You remember what Perkins' second year was when it fell out on him.
But I do know this. They've got the support and the expectation, just like if he doesn't, they'll move on and they'll move on again. And it might take them 3 or 4 times. It might take them 15 years to fix it or get it where they want. But
it did the last 2 times.
They're going to keep. But now the parity, it's hard. And we all like the softer and gentler Nicky Saban. Okay, the guy that can laugh, the more humane Nicky Saban. But he's got some damn nerve when he starts talking about the parity and keeping the even playing field in college football.
Mm-hmm.
He did everything within his power and then some to get a loaded deck. He's the captain of the loaded deck. And that's one thing he had in common with Bear Bryant, because Bear Bryant prompted the 85 scholarship limited because he had 45 guys on crew membership, crew scholarship. You couldn't find a boat within sight. I mean, it's So I mean, come on. I mean, would somebody at least say, yeah, coach, just like you strive for when you were coach? Come on, man.
You tell him.
Well, he's more humane. Probably laugh at himself. I mean, come on. He worked his behind off to gain every advantage. Even the bogus, the handlers who had put out a couple of tapes. Oh no, they were scouts. They were scouting services. He paid more. Those guys than anybody else. It wasn't even close because it's just a little extra advantage.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'll give him credit for one thing. He warned everybody. He said, "You want to do this transfer portal thing? I don't think it's a good idea, but we're going to benefit from it. You want to pay the players?
Have they benefited? It's provided parity, Charlie.
Well, his teams were still going to win, is what he meant.
No, but
not Alabama.
No, but he's losing his developmental guys, and we're going. Alabama's 13-22 is not like it used to be.
No,
everybody's worried about depth. They think it's second string, but it's the complementary players. No, they're 4 and 5 stars on every part of that thing. And where guys like Alex Leatherwood can look good, because he's surrounded by a bunch of good players.
But he also benefited from some of the early transfer portal guys like Jamison Williams and Jamal Gibbs.
Jameer Gibbs, Williams, the Tua, whatever from Tennessee.
Henry
he was their best, but he lost way more. Yes, he got the high profile guys. I got it in theory, but those guys aren't. Saban does he not preach development all the time?
Yeah.
Because he knows those guys, they're not playing now, but they're going to be very key roles later on.
He would have rather done it the old way.
Yes.
Would have definitely rather done it the old way.
And look, the Jupiter crib is nice, but he got tired of them changing the rules on him. And he's
really nice house.
It is phenomenal.
Really nice.
But he's just tired of why? He doesn't have to play this game anymore.
Got my money, got my rings.
Yeah, he doesn't have to play this game, and I'm sure ESPN's not paying him chicken feed.
He's not going to starve.
No. So I wonder. I bet he's making just as much with ESPN that he's making. I bet he is.
You think they're paying him $9 million a year?
Yes.
I have no idea.
He has saved the show. It is revigorated.
It's a much better show, but financially, are they doing that? Are they doing $9 million a year better?
He's got to be Charlie. He's going cover SEC media days for him. It's not just that. No, No, he's worth $9 million.
I think he's worth $9 million. But do they have $9 million?
You're paying the clown next to him. What?
Do they have $9 million more in revenue on game day because he's there?
I think over time they will.
Over time, yeah.
Yes.
We're in this business. The ratings don't come. The revenue doesn't come immediately
he hasn't
behind the
completed
ratings.
his first season.
Right.
You don't think this thing is better?
I think
you don't think it's more sellable.
Yes.
Okay.
You got to tell it to an executive though. That's got to put the $9 million up first.
No, but
at a place where they've been cutting back.
Charlie, he's the greatest of all time. He's still sharp. He's in there. He's presentable, and now he's getting along with his instead of bossing everybody around.
You don't have to convince me, Jimmy. You got to convince a guy that is in a suit.
If he ain't making $9 million now, he's about to.
Well,
you know that. Come on, they pay their cap hit. They pay their stars.
Yeah.
Now he's not an everyday, but he's a regular. He's a regular guy.
There's a lot of endorsements that have gone along with this, the Home Depot stuff and all that. So yeah,
and he had some of that before. He has more now.
He's got as much as he was willing to accept.
Pretty
you
much.
think he probably turns down twice as much as he takes?
Probably so.
Or more. Yeah.
I know this. Paul Skeens in Living gonna rock Miss Terry. Miss Terry been sitting on top too long. Bring that. What is it? The splinker. Throw that splinker at Miss Terry.
Throw the splinker. Miss Terry, I picked him. I think on the.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think she's still on top.
Yeah.
All right. And they say, and every time they bring up Miss Terry's fun, they look at him, and he kind of like gets that look like, live with it every day. I'm used to it.
He was nervous when it came in there.
That's the best.
Jimmy's picks are next here, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Are you ready for some football?
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Lofton Staffing Services, 924-0200 and Lofton.jobs. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. The LSU Alumni Association and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center. For reservations, thecookhotel.com.
Okay, let's talk turkey. Not that kind of turkey. Bayou Ford can get you in a brand new F-150 with $15,000 off MSRP.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off America's favorite truck, Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty, and when we make a deal, we'll pay off your trade regardless of what you owe.
Shop BayouFord.com or visit us just off I-10 in La Place. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you. $11,000 discount, $4,000 rebate. Stock number F4181.
Previous hailstorms have caused hidden damage to countless Baton Rouge homes. Rice and Roofing spots the damage, makes the claim, and replaces your roof. You pay only your insurance deductible. Never anything more. Call Rice and Roofing today and schedule your free inspection. 330-3513. RiceandRoofing.com.
Bow and waterfowl season is open, and Southern Outfitters is your one-stop shop. Fully stocked with decoys, full-service bow repair, and sales. Tree stands, hang-ons, and hunting apparel for the entire family. Visit Southern Outfitters in Zachary and at SouthernOutfittersLA.com.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, downtown facing Town Square. At Jolie Pearl, we're pretty shucking good. Louisiana Lanyap on Perkins and Bluebonnet, winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee, and Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Rev Business is connecting companies from the bayou to the river to the lake with the technology, expertise, and uniquely homegrown support that only Rev Business can deliver. From internet and hosted phone to managed Wi-Fi and Metro E, our best-in-class services are tailored to your needs. Backed by in-house support and a local team devoted to keeping your business up and running. Visit us at letsrev.biz. Rev Business.
Jimmy Ott's 5-pack of picks, brought to you by Supreme Rice. Make sure you use Louisiana rice, grown by Louisiana farmers since 1936. Available at most local grocery stores. Supreme Rice.
All right, let's get to it. Rough week last week, 1-3-1. So one game over 500 for the year. What's Alex Pastor? Is that his name? Is our producer from Minnesota, row the boat? And
Correct.
Wasn't he getting a little? They weren't happy with PJ Fleck earlier in the year. Like, dude, stay in your lane. You're Minnesota, okay? You just built a stadium not too long ago. You're playing in the Metrodome for years. Minnesota has been, and Charlie, you don't unranked versus ranked. That's always a home team. Minnesota was the unranked team on the road, and they were down late, but they scored a touchdown, tacked on a field goal. They won and covered again. They've won and covered 4 in a row, but it's now, who do they play next? They play Penn State. James Franklin come to town. A little look-ahead spot? Maybe so, just a little bit. Rutgers has off to a really good start this year, has flattened out a little bit, but this is too many points on the road, -6 in Piscataway. Told Alex to go see the Sopranos Hall of Fame in Piscataway, but he's staying at home.
Is there such a thing? Because I'll go.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
There should be one.
Swing and a miss.
So anyway, Rutgers Scarlet Knights a +6. I pick on them, and like when on our way to Del Mar, me and my buddy Larry Cooper in the connecting flight in the Sky Club in Houston, we see a kid from Ole Miss. So I say, y'all are good this year. It says, well, we're looking over our shoulder. What does Mincy do? What's he do? He's just
disappointed.
Disappointed Mincy. Boy, they're going to be scratching themselves. Kicking it. 1-7 Kentucky. LSU, you don't trail the whole game until the walk-off. And, man, but there aren't many teams that can go to Arkansas and put up 700 yards. We've seen that. LSU played the most complete game of the year. They didn't put up 700 yards. They can't. Not close to that. And then you went to South Carolina. Tough place to win, huh? They destroyed them. If they got in, reached the ball out going in for it, it would have been worse. It should have been worse. It was worse than the final score. And now here comes Georgia. Lane Kiffin whining about no night game, playing games with Sankey, putting 26 guys on his injury report when it's called BS. This is Ole Miss's Super Bowl. I think Ole Miss is going to. Georgia still has one to play with. 10-2 Georgia. Come on, how do you keep them out of this whole thing? Give me the Johnny Rebels. Howdy, Tada, gosh almighty. When's Ole Miss going to beat somebody? Tomorrow. They take down to Georgia. Get the fine ready because they storm in the field at 64,000 Vaught Hemingway. That's why you don't play night games there. A little bit more of a legendary historical stadium right down the street than Vaught Hemingway. All right, Virginia Tech at home here, catching 6.5. Clemson. I do have to admit, Dabo has been pretty good in this spot where they've lost early and they've come back and, played for some pride and, and still won 10 games or so. Very good last couple of years when in that spot. But this one I think burns a little bit more, Charlie, because they were in the playoff last week. This week they're not, and they're probably not going to get into the ACC championship game. So they're probably done for the season. Not only that, but check out who they've beaten. Here's their wins: Appalachian State, North Carolina State when they were playing bad, Stanford, 1-7 Florida State, Wake Forest, and Virginia. That's their wins. They've been a bully. They've beaten those teams badly to cover, but just how good are they? Now they're going to go on the road to take on Virginia Tech. Money line alert here. Give me the 6.5 for free. I'll take Virginia Tech. I'm on the Vandy bandwagon. So, again, the Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia played through a little pain. He's playing through pain all season long. Vandy hasn't lost a game all season by this amount. They're 3-2 in the conference. Their two losses were by a field goal. South Carolina, pretty emotional win, would you say? Where they're the latest in the SEC to get their fine with their route win over them. And also, you think Pavia has a little bit better numbers than Sellers? Just a little bit. Pavia has more yards per attempt, 8.2 to 7.3. Touchdown to interception ratio, not close. 15-3 for Pavia, 7-4 for Sellers. How about rushing? Well, Sellers has 4 TDs, so does Pavia. But Sellers has rushed for 99 total yards. Pavia 564. Better quarterback play, better spot. plus 6.5. I don't care if Dr. Bob. I don't care if whoever is putting it out. I'll take Vanderbilt plus the 6.5. And then we talked about it in the elite games, in the top 7 teams in the SEC, where it's Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, LSU, Tennessee. When they played each other, one time the home team didn't prevail. Alabama, I don't think they beat Georgia on a neutral, but they beat them at home. LSU, I don't think they beat Ole Miss on a neutral, but they beat them at home. Texas A&M, I don't think they beat LSU on a neutral, but they beat them at home. This place will be electric tomorrow. From Garth to Boosie, give me the Tigers plus the 2.5. Got it at 3. Thank you, Max. You alerted us earlier this week, so we got the 3. But for this case, I'll take the Tigers plus 2.5.
You know what I hope with Ole Miss and Georgia? I hope they both play their best game. I'm really anxious to see who would win if they play their best. Both of them.
It's another one. Who's more consistent at quarterback?
Jackson Dart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the home field. So if they both play their best, I think Ole Miss has got a real shot in that thing. And then if Georgia doesn't play their best, if Beck throws them 2 or 3, then this is going to be, this might not be real popular for this market. I think these are the 2 most talented teams in the league, and it's tight. Let me say it's tight, okay? Yeah. But I think this is Ole Miss is there's 2 teams in the top 10 in points scored and fewest points allowed. We're 9 games deep. We're not like Rena wins in 2 games. Yeah, we're 9 games deep at this point. And the other is Indiana, and their strength of schedule is in 100, is in triple digits. This Ole Miss team is really good. I mean, I got to give it to the Ryan. They'll probably still be home for Christmas, but they got to win this one. I think they're going to win it. Their A game's good enough to win. We'll take a break.
I can't lose. I'm going to cash a ticket or watch a Mincy squirm.
Max's picks when we come back here. Lock of the Week Friday presented by Tex Morris and Edward Jones Investments from Ruffino's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and
all right, whenever you're ready, Jordan.
It's rolling.
This is Charles Hanagriff. Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch, 10 a.m. from the Walk-Ons in Brewley. We're recapping a monster weekend in college football. Live at Lunch, 10 a.m. Monday, including the Brian Kelly press conference on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And WorkboxLLC.com.
The Gulf Coast has long been a key hub for Shell and the U.S. energy supply. With over 100 years of history in Louisiana, Shell remains committed to transforming our business. Our promise? To deliver lower carbon fuels and products. Shell is leading the energy evolution into the next 100 years. The creative thinking of thousands of Louisiana employees will power progress in our state and our future. Shell is the rhythm of Louisiana.
Your Fighting Tigers of LSU host the Alabama Crimson Tide Saturday. It all gets started with Eagle 98.1 Game Day with Charles Hanagriff and Matt Musso at 1:30 p.m. live from Rouse's on Burbank, and wraps up with Eagle 98.1 Game Day post game 90 minutes after the end of the game. It's presented by Super Chevy, your local Super Chevy dealers, and you can hear it on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your flagship home for the Tigers, Eagle 98.1.
Attention, vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Man, too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Build up to Black Friday with savings all month long at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to pick up holiday inflatables under $20. Don't wait to save in store or online now because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items while supplies last.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have a question, a problem? Call us. We answer the phone. 225-363-9053.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
It's Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris of Edward Jones Investments. Now, back to Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, Max, 3-2 last week, 25, 24, and 1 for the year. Let's hit it.
All right, sorry, I'm not disrespecting the service academies, but I'm fading both of them this week. South Florida +3 against Navy and North Texas +3 against Army. 2 quarterbacks in a very quarterback-dependent sort of setup offensively that are dealing with injuries. Bryson Daly with the foot injury, Blake Horvath with a thumb or finger injury. So that's going to be a problem. I like both of the underdogs there catching points at home. Vanderbilt +6.5 against Vanderbilt. They've been a dog in 7 games. They have covered the spread in all 7, covering by an average of 19.2 points per game in those games. They're a dog this week. It's the system play. I'll take the 6.5 against South Carolina. Jacksonville State -10 against La Tech. La Tech is very bad. Sonny Cumbie's on his way out the door. Jacksonville State's destroyed the bad teams they've played this year. They've covered as a double-digit favorite in every game that they've been this season. I think they do it once again. And my lock of the week, I'm also sticking in the state. I'm going to fade ULL this week. Arkansas State catching 14.5 on the road. ULL has kind of struggled to really cover big numbers, so I think this one stays close, even though the Cajuns win.
Unpatriotic and against Louisiana, Max. My goodness. How desperate are you for winners, huh?
Sorry.
It's all right. Thanks to the folks here at Ruffino's for being our host every Friday. On Monday, we're at Walk.
Great atmosphere here tonight.
Yeah. Game day tomorrow at Rouse's and football Sunday on Sunday from the Queen. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
All right, you guys have a good one.
You too, Jordan. Thanks a lot.
It's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy